text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Dimes and quarters in my back. Yeah, that was good times. Good times. Now, lately, I got to be honest, you've been ignoring me. Money's been slipping through your hands like a greased pig. Get it? Because I'm a... Anyway, I know how it is. Now that you get a real paycheck, it's nice to have stuff. You'll start saving money next year. Well, I hate to tell you, but good saving habits start now. Put just $20 in the bank a month. Make your own coffee at home instead of that latte every morning. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Those changes alone can save you thousands of dollars a year. Come on, I'm your piggy bank. We can be together again, me and you, the special times. Anyway, if you don't want me to cry anymore, feed me. Go to feedthepig.org for more ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Earlier on Clinton and Friends.
Jay Boogie in North Carolina. What up?
Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Bless, health, happiness to everybody. Shout out to the show. Shout out to everybody. If you're not a friend of this show, you need to be calling in, man. Shout out to this show. Much flowers, man. But everybody stay healthy and safe. You know what I'm saying? Your eyelids unattached. God bless everybody. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S.
Clinton and Friends. Weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. This is Freddie and Harry.
Here's what I want for Caleb Williams. I would love to see him play well so people can shut the hell up. Ooh. So people can just leave him alone. You got the offense coordinator you wanted. They made pieces to put around you and brought those pieces in and out the free agency of the NFL draft. I believe in Caleb Williams. I would love to see him go out there and play well so he can try to continue to be the best quarterback he can be with an offense that is well suited for the gifts that he brings to the table.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Because what people are doing is people are going, oh, same old Bengals, they're being cheap, essentially, right? We should have been able to kick that whole thing years ago. But certainly at this point, with all the money they've thrown around that offense, I mean, I think we're done having that conversation. There's got to be a reason that they have been more hesitant in this situation to commit to the guaranteed money.
Amber Indiana, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on Sirius XM Channel 80. Amber and Ian.
I think Jackson Dart is actually in a great situation if Brian Daboll's seat is not hot. If the coach feels confident in his job and in his job security, then he'll feel a lot more confident allowing Jackson Dart to sit and learn because he's got the time to do that. But if Brian Daboll doesn't have the time to do that, then we're going to see Jackson Dart maybe before we should.
Amber Indiana, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on Sirius XM Channel 80.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
From the Bull Rush ESPN studios. Learn more at bullrush.com/ESPN. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.
This is Sports Center.
The holding is over. I'm Chris Smith. Ahead of their regular season opener against the Giants, the Commanders and wide receiver Terry McLaurin reached an agreement on a 3-year contract extension worth up to $96 million, including a $30 million signing bonus, his agents told ESPN's Adam Schefter. McLaurin is coming off his second Pro Bowl appearance and has surpassed 1,000 yards for 5 consecutive seasons. And ahead of Tuesday's roster cut deadline, the Saints released running back Cam Akers, who signed with New Orleans in June. Meanwhile, rookie QB Shedeur Sanders said he's confident he will make the Browns' 53-man roster, but ESPN's Mike Tenenbaum says keeping 4 quarterbacks is not common.
It's very unusual, and ironically, they did do that last year, but last year, 13 teams had 3, 18 teams had 2. Typically, you're seeing a lot of teams put 1 on the practice squad at this point, so, look, it's not impossible to handle your roster that way, but when you're rebuilding, and certainly, you know, the Browns are, you're going to lose a player otherwise you'd be keeping, so I still see Kenny Pickett getting traded. To me, that just makes too much sense.
Heard on ESPN Radio's Game Day. Sanders in a crowded quarterback room with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and fellow rookie Dylan Gabriel.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Check this out, y'all.
Audio level full volume.
This is Border to Border with Matt Josephs.
He's super famous.
This guy's a fraud, a phony.
I respect women. I love women. I respect them so much that I completely stay away from them.
Matt, your manliness is overwhelming.
Sports.
Audio levels full volume. It's go time.
Here's Matt Josephs on Richmond's 106.1 ESPN.
Good afternoon, everybody. Border to Border, 106.1 ESPN. Matt Josephs here. We have finally made it. We are in an official game week. College football begins on Thursday. Let's be honest, week 0 was nice, but college football officially begins on Thursday. And then we got a whole host of games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We have made it through the long off season of talking realignment and talking playoffs and all this garbage on and on and on. We are officially here at the start of the college football season. We are so excited for the start because we're going to have a lot of coverage as the week goes along and as the season goes along for what is ahead in college football. And, of course, we are done with the NFL preseason. Now we are sitting here awaiting the cuts, and we will certainly keep you posted as cuts come in. The time is, I believe it's tomorrow at 5 o'clock. That you have to be at a 53-man roster, whatever the time is tomorrow. But tomorrow you have to be your 53-man roster, and then everybody will go through waivers, and then we'll have waiver signings and stuff like that. So we'll keep you posted as the cuts come in with regards to the local players that we have. So far, a couple of them have been let go. We'll tell you about that in a little bit. But we're just so excited that we're finally here. College football is finally upon us. And I feel good because this is the first time I can actually give you for a game week the spreads for the upcoming week with regards to our local teams here. You'll notice there's a lot of large spreads involved. I'm going in order as to how they're listed. So this is not in any sort of order or anything. ODU is a 22.5-point underdog at JMU West, a.k.a. Indiana. It's a 2:30 start time. Virginia at home against Coastal Carolina at 6. Wide spread of spreads. 12, 11, and 10.5 are the three different spreads I see. Virginia's a favorite in those games. And Virginia Tech against South Carolina. That line keeps coming down. It is 7.5 on DraftKings, 8 on other places, but this line keeps coming down as people continue to, for some reason, wager on Virginia Tech. Of course, JMU's got Weber State. I have not seen a line. Actually, there's one place that does have a line for this. I'm going to get it for you because it is of the utmost importance. They are taking on Weber State. JMU a 26.5-point favorite in that game as they get ready for a FCS opponent week 1. So that is our FBS games of interest when it comes to college football. We'll do a lot of this stuff. On the Mashup Hour, Bob and I are going to handle 2 teams a day because this week we may not have shows on Wednesday because the Braves have an afternoon game. And then Friday, Bob is not here. I am the only one doing the shows with Alan out at Colonial Downs on Friday. So we're just going to do a lot of stuff as we get you ready for the season and get you ready for the opponents this coming week. 327-0888, that is the phone number. That is the text line. 804 is the area code if you want to get involved in the show. But there were 2 pieces of good news. At least I think they're good news because they're 2 of the guys that we root for here on the show. Terry McLaurin has signed with the Washington Commanders. The long saga that we knew was going to end at some point has finally ended, and guess what? The Washington Commanders caved to his demands. Oh, it's such a glorious thing. When I saw the tweet, I'm like, all right, this is awesome. He's going to sign. Wonder what it's going to be. 3 years, up to $96 million. Now, my Syracuse math tells me that is $32 million a year. It's my Syracuse math right there. $1 million less than DK Metcalf. He also is getting $30 million guaranteed as a signing bonus. But Terry McLaurin is now in the fold. And let me tell you this, and I've seen this already, and it's annoying me already. I do not want to see any Commanders fans, none of you, give any credit to Adam Peters. Adam Peters deserves 0 credit in this whole thing. You know why he deserves 0 credit for this whole thing? He caved. He gave Terry what he wanted. If Adam Peters was such a good talent evaluator and had a number in mind and he believed in that number, he should have stuck with that number. He should have stuck with that number, made them come down, and gotten what he wanted. Adam Peters did not get what he wanted here. And so, to me, in my mind, he caved. And that's fine. It's great for the team. But, like, I saw, it's the same thing. I saw all these people like, oh, look at Adam Peters cook. He got Brian Robinson for a 6th-round draft pick. Super. Now I'm checking the cheerleader of up in Washington, D.C. to see if he wants to give Adam Peters some credit, too. It does not look like he is. Thank goodness. One of the many DC media cheerleaders who loves just, being a team guy and everything. He is not giving Adam Peters credit. Thank goodness. Because he doesn't deserve it. He does not deserve it. And so SpotTrack says he has a vested $2.8 million roster bonus for this year. Assuming a minimum salary and a reported $30 million signing bonus from the Commanders, McLaurin is now scheduled to earn at least $34 million for the upcoming season, a $15 million raise. And we'll see what the guaranteed number is. Nobody has said yet what the guaranteed amount is. And remember, we may do the simple math. I may do the simple $32 million math. But it's not like that. If you pay attention to the contracts, there might be it might be front loaded. It might be back loaded. Who knows? We don't know. But by the simple math, it's $32 million a year. I'm guessing that it's going to be more front loaded than back loaded. So therefore, I'm betting he's getting more in the first season. I do find it interesting that we have no idea what the guaranteed number is yet. We have no idea. We know the signing bonus. We know the numbers of the deal, but we do not know what his guaranteed number is right now. We'll find out at some point, but Terry McLaurin's in the fold, and I'm happy for it. As a guy who roots for Terry McLaurin 14 to 15 games a year, I'm happy for him, and I'm excited that I have not had my fantasy draft yet, and after having him and Jaden last year, I will try and do that once again this year, because that really paid off for me in the end. A couple of texts here. One from our resident Jaguars fan who said, mark me down as one vote they overpaid. I mean, that's fine. You could think that. They might have, but he had to come back. He had to come back. Didn't I tell you he was going to bail out? He did the same for Debo, Peters and Lynch, that is. Well, Peters and Josh Harris. I mean, listen, to me, that's not necessarily great business. It's not necessarily the great way to go, because guess what? The team lost. Now, I guess it matters what the guaranteed number is. If the guaranteed number is not that high, then I guess the team technically won. And if the number is high, and technically he won. But Terry McLaurin got what he wanted for the most part in his contract. And to me, that means Adam Peters failed as a general manager. You could think what you want with regards to how much Terry's actually getting. That's a whole different story. We've debated that. I think that Terry deserves everything that he's getting. But I'm also a Terry McLaurin guy. You could think that he shouldn't get what he's getting, and therefore you do think that that's an overpay. I'll bring in Jordan here. I mean, to me, I think that with what we're seeing with McLaurin is he got what he wanted, and the team realized that they needed their number one wide receiver if they wanted to have the Super Bowl dreams that they have.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think the frustration from Cliff Kingsbury to Dan Quinn on down from the coaching staff was very evident, especially as we got into like week 3 of training camp, where it was like, yes, we've talked so much about, we understand that there's a business side to this, but at the end of the day, we need to get ready for the season, and we need our best wide receiver out there working with our players, and we don't need contract disputes to serve as a distraction from that.
No, because as we talk about this in Dallas, the open portion of their practice, there is no Micah Parsons. And we'll get into that because Jerry continues his media tour, but that's got to be a distraction in Dallas. And now Washington can practice and be ready. They have their number one wide receiver in the fold, and they have what we believe now is a good offense. Now, of course, a lot of this is determined by Debo. And the other thing you kind of have to watch out for, a lot of times with these contract disputes, now I'm assuming that Terry McLaurin's been keeping himself in shape, but you always have to watch that first game or two for like a pulled hamstring or things like that, because nothing beats how the team will get you ready. Although I'm sure, look, I remember there was that picture of Terry outside of yoga. I mean, I'm sure he's in physical shape, but you always have to watch out for that first game or two afterwards, because who knows what's going to happen. Who knows what's going to happen? But for the Washington Commanders, Terry McLaurin's in the fold. I mean, do you think I'm way off here? I mean, Adam Peters essentially caved. Now, I guess the guaranteed number will tell us how much he caved, but by the physical number of the contract, 3 years, $96 million, Terry got what he wanted.
Yeah, I don't disagree that there was an element of caving here, especially because, obviously the team didn't, at least from the beginning, even going back to the spring, they did not want to have their hands forced to where they had to pay 30 million a year or more. But I guess I don't know what happened with the front office and their negotiations, but yeah, I mean they obviously they walked back a lot more, it seems, than McLaurin's camp did.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, the guaranteed money will come out soon. But all that matters is he's in the fold, and he'll be ready week 1 against the Giants. And now you have an offense that everybody's slotted up perfectly. And I haven't seen any cuts yet. I have not seen anything come out from the Commanders, but you have everybody, Debo's better at number 2. Zach Ertz is better as like a third option. Noah Brown probably will be the number 3. You've got your running backs. You've got Austin Eckler, who'll be your third down guy. Like, everything kind of lines up better now with Terry McLaurin getting what he got. That is for sure for the Commanders, and certainly we'll do a lot more with this team as we get ready for week 1, not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after that. All right, there is also good news in college football regarding one of the teams we cover, and one of the teams that I host a show for here on our airwaves. We'll talk about the news coming out of Harrisonburg up next. We'll also recap week 0. Was one of the headlines a fight that happened in the stands between two people you would never think would get into a fight? We'll get into what happened in Dublin, Ireland, and we'll talk about, the ACC's 0-1 in true ACC fashion. We'll talk about that as well as we take you up until 4. It is college football season, everybody. Get excited. You're listening to 106.1 ESPN.
Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
At East Coast Appliance, our customers mean everything to us. So we're giving back and having a huge Labor Day customer appreciation sale. Save up to 50% off new appliances store-wide. Special offers on dishwashers and laundry pairs, and limited time 0% financing you won't want to miss. Always same day or next day delivery and install available. The Labor Day customer appreciation sale at East Coast Appliance. The best price, or it's free.
Ugh, I'm getting so sick of going to the laundromat. Didn't you just get a new washer and dryer? Yeah, but it still hasn't arrived. Where'd you get it? One of those big hardware stores. And every time I call, I get the garden department, lumber department, or something like that. Next time, let me know. I have this appliance guy who does same day or next day delivery and install. I'm going to call and cancel my order. Great idea.
You should never have to wait weeks or even days for a new appliance. Shop East Coast Appliance today and get the best price, or it's free.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for. So don't wait. For this free information, call 800-422-8552. 800-422-8552. That's 800-422-8552. Not available in all states. Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Hey, it's Delvin Joyce, JMU Hall of Famer and former New York Giant. And listen, make sure you tune in to Talkin' Dukes every Wednesday on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Go Dukes.
Welcome back. 106.1 ESPN. Matt Joseph's here. We finally made it. It is game week here in the state. Very excited for that. Thursday night, a whole bunch of good football. None involving the state yet. Friday night, a whole bunch of football. Saturday, a whole bunch of football. Sunday, not a whole bunch, but still, I mean, it's the Tech game. And some game, Notre Dame versus Miami. And then TCU, North Carolina on Monday when we're off. So much to get into here on the show. All right, so college football is underway in week 0. We'll get to the recap of that in just a second. But good news there is ahead of Harrisonburg. If you are in Team AB3 like I am, that Alonzo Barnett is cleared for contact. And there has not been an announcement regarding who's going to start. And I like that. Look, I have that. I like that. I'm 100% for it. As I've said on the show, as a fan, I want this team to be as secretive as they could possibly be. You don't have to tell us anything. But as a media member, it is a pain in the butt, to say the least, to cover a quarterback room that has 3 candidates. I mean, really, you could say 4 if you want to throw J.C. Evans out there. But like, to cover any sort of quarterback battle or any sort of position battle and get nothing from the school, very difficult as a person who covers the team. Very happy as a person who roots for that team. But today, coach came out and said Alonzo's cleared for contact. And I don't think that they would clear him for contact without starting in week 1. Now, there is the interesting thought of this game on Saturday, an FCS game that they should be taking seriously. Remember, they nearly lost last year to their FCS opponent. And then the quick turnaround to the Friday night game in Louisville. And so there is the thought there that maybe you don't start Alonzo if you don't think he's ready, and you get him ready for that Friday night game, and you basically let Sluka and or Cam take care of game 1. I am not necessarily a huge fan of that. I'm the type of guy who, I'm a one quarterback guy. There's times when we could go over throughout the history of football. There are times where there are times when 2 quarterbacks worked. Okay. You can think of your own. But for the most part, if you're running packages for somebody else, you have to be so in rhythm to know, all right, this guy's coming in and the guy sitting out is okay with missing a play. Sometimes quarterbacks they need to be in. They can't go out. So I'm a guy that if you start a quarterback, you should finish with him. Now, I could certainly see JMU doing a Alonza starting Sluka package, with Sluka being the more mobile one, like a 3rd and 3, a 4th and 2, 4th and 1, bringing in a Sluka who can, quarterback sneak and has more mobility. I could see that, and I'm okay with that. As long as you eventually have him throw the ball. You can't have a quarterback come in and every single time have it be a plunge into the line. You can't do that. And I don't want Alonza doing quarterback sneaks and stuff like that. Like, I don't want that to happen. But other than that, like, I don't want to do like, hey, every third series, Sluka comes in. Every third series, Cam Coleman comes in. My sense is that it's down to Sluka and Alonza. My thought is that Cam potentially redshirts this year. I have no knowledge of that, but it's just the sense as to what is coming out of JMU and some of the videos we've seen and stuff like that. You see Sluka working with the 2s and Cam working with the 3s and stuff like that. But my sense is Alonza and Sluka are your quarterbacks for the most part this season. If they can, they will redshirt Cam, which is interesting considering he was going to redshirt last year for Richmond until they realized he was the better quarterback and went on with it. But the original plan last year in Richmond was we're going to play Cam 4 games at the most, and then we're going to redshirt him. Well, that didn't work out because he was the better quarterback and should have probably been starting anyway. But that was last year's discussion. I've said my piece on that last year that I thought he should have been the starting quarterback. But whatever. So that is the news coming out of Harrisonburg, that Alonza's ready for contact, and there is no decision on the starting quarterback, which is fine. I mean, that's fine with me. Just if you want to have somebody, I joked with Dean Kennedy after we were done the interview. I was like, so coach, you going to, maybe throw all 3 quarterbacks out there, 4 quarterbacks out there, first play of the game, throw everybody off, have JC, take a handoff from something. He's like, if I could use 11 quarterbacks, I would do it. I whatever I can do to move the ball, I will certainly do that. So we'll keep you posted on that. All right, week 0 was this past weekend. And I thought it was a fantastic game to start. The Iowa State-Kansas State game was fantastic. It was back and forth. Iowa State looked like a good team. Now, I don't know. I'm not gonna take credit for it. But I thought that I said I leaned to the underdog in this game. Now, you guys and gals can tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't know if I ever actually made an official selection in this game. But mentally, I said to myself, these two are so close that I would lean to the underdog. And obviously, the underdog covered in this situation. Iowa State was the underdog. But they get it's a huge win in that conference. You are 1-0 in conference against another ranked opponent overseas. You lose a home game and you get the victory. So that is a huge win for Iowa State and Matt Campbell. Remember, Matt Campbell at one point was such a hot commodity that they were like, he's going to join the NFL. Somebody in the NFL is going to hire him. No, that didn't really work out that way. So that was the headliner. But there were some other interesting things that happened. We saw the start of the Anthony Calandria era in UNLV. Calandria threw a touchdown pass, was 15 of 21, 195 yards, ran it 13 times for 93 yards. I mean, the most important thing here is no interceptions. He was able to, keep control of the offense for the most part. 13 rushes, maybe a little much. But Anthony Calandria played well, and we'll see if they keep going with the 2 quarterback system in UNLV. I mean, look, that was a team that nearly lost their game against an FCS opponent. Idaho State was up 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. They were up 17-14 at halftime. And then UNLV woke up and scored the next 10 points. But then Idaho State was up 31-24 with 13:40 left in the game. Then Calandria leads them down on a drive, and then they get another drive, and UNLV holds off Idaho State 38-31. But this kind of shows you, the FCS game is not a guarantee anymore. No matter what, this is not a good Idaho State team in the FCS level, and they took UNLV to the brink. So JMU and the other FBS teams playing FCS opponents, you can't take anything for granted. This week there's always one upset during this first week. I don't know necessarily who it's going to be yet. I'm doing my research. I'm looking around a little bit, seeing what's out there. But this is always the one week where that stuff happens because, FCS teams have the whole offseason to prepare for an FBS opponent. This is their opportunity, and the FBS team's like, oh, we're going to play an FCS team. Oh, well. Kansas looked good against the Fresno State. Western Kentucky gets the early win over Sam Houston State. For one game, it looked like, once again, Western Kentucky has tapped into another great formula of taking a FCS quarterback and his offensive coordinator and bringing him to the school. They did so with Bailey Zappi a couple of years ago. Now, Maverick McIver, who threw for 401 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, Sam Houston State brought back 0 defensive starters. 0. So to have them get up 41 points was kind of expected. And then there was the nightcap. And usually it's the nightcap that we all enjoy at like 11 o'clock. Hawaii, you're watching TV, the weather looks great, and you're just jealous because you wish you were in Hawaii. And you've got a Stanford team that gets out 10-0, and we're sitting here, we're like, all right, this is awesome. The ACC is going to get a good win. They're going to go out there. Hawaii has that horrendous couple of mistakes that they made, and they just don't look very interested. And then it's 13-7, and then with like a minute left, it's 14-13. You're like, all right, that's fine. Then Stanford gets a lead in the fourth quarter. Stanford goes on a 20-play drive that took 9 minutes and 37 seconds. 20 plays. And then they cough up the lead. Field goal. Hawaii gets the win. Good for us because we took the Hawaii team total or win total over. That's one of our 5.5 wins that we needed. But man, I mean, I don't think Stanford's going to be very good. Now, I guess I should know this because we're supposed to know everything. Did not realize that the Frank Reich hire is like, he's temporary. Like, they're still looking for a new future head coach. Frank Reich is just doing this to help them buy time. Like, what kind of season are you going to have if you have a head coach that isn't even really your head coach? You're just buying time. Hawaii's quarterback gets an awful injury, leaves briefly, and then comes back, limps around the field, and still beats Stanford, who falls to 0-1. ACC 0-1 on the season. Stanford's going to be bad. Stanford's going to be really bad. They play at BYU next week on the 6th, so they have a bye. They play at BYU. They play here in Virginia on September 20th. I mean, if Virginia doesn't destroy Stanford, I'd be concerned. Stanford might only get like 2 wins. I think their win total is 3.5. They might go under that. They play San Jose State at home. They host Boston College. They host Cal. But like, this is a really bad Stanford team. It's a really bad Stanford team. And so the ACC's 0-1. I'm staring at the ACC standings here, and they are 0-1 to start the season. Now, look, they were an underdog. They did open the favorite, but they were an underdog at kickoff. So therefore, it's not like it's a surprise they lost, but determined basically off of how they lost. That's kind of bad. So now for the ACC, Thursday night, NC State hosts East Carolina as a 2-touchdown favorite. You figure NC State's going to win that game. I'm looking to see if Duke is hosting Elon. You figure you're going to win that game. Duke is like a 34.5 point favorite or something like that. I actually think I'm so in love with Duke this year for football. I think they might cover that. I don't think Elon's going to be very good this year. So they have an opportunity to get 2 more wins there. And then Friday, Wake hosts Kennesaw State, and then Georgia Tech's at Colorado. I mean, we've talked about we've gone over and we'll continue to go over like the Saturday games: Syracuse, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida State, LSU, Clemson, Tech in South Carolina, Notre Dame, and Miami. Those are the huge games that we focused on. But like Georgia Tech, if they can go to Colorado and get that win on Friday night, that's good. And they're favored. They're favored by 4 points in that game. So Vegas likes them. The ACC has to get one of Georgia Tech, Colorado, and North Carolina, TCU. Have to. Cannot lose them both. Because if they lose them both, that'll be rough. That'll be very rough. Because let's be completely honest. On Monday here, I'm going to say, I think Miami beats Notre Dame. I think Tech loses to South Carolina. I guess Clemson beats LSU. Florida State is going to get destroyed by Alabama. And sadly, my alma mater, Syracuse, is probably going to lose to Tennessee. So not necessarily the greatest results. If you flip, Clemson or Miami, it could be a disastrous week for the ACC. It could be an absolutely disastrous week for a conference that absolutely needs to start out the campaign as well as possible. You laugh, but like when I said the Stanford game would have been nice to have, like you need all the wins you can get because you need your bad teams to even be good. You need your bad teams to be good. So, like, Virginia's got to beat Coastal, and I think they will. I'm highly optimistic on Virginia. Cal, it would be nice if they went to Oregon State and won at 10:30 on ESPN on Saturday. That would be nice. We're not expecting much from Cal, but, like, it would be nice if they got that win there. So, the ACC starts out the college football season 0-1 in a year that we will find out so much about this team and this conference on week 1. We will find out so much. I've seen so many people taking Clemson as the national champion. A lot of people are taking Clemson to be the national champion. I'm not ready to go there yet. I'm just not. If Clemson was, it's funny because if Clemson was in the SEC, I'd be like, yeah, probably I'd consider that, but they're not. They have the stink of the ACC. So 0-1 start for the conference. That's pretty bad. 327-0888. That's the phone number. That is the text line. 804 is the area code. That's they have to win the toss-up games as much as possible. And you know what? They also have to win their FCS games by a lot. Sorry. Like, you play an FCS opponent, Pittsburgh's got to beat Duquesne by a lot. BC's got to beat Fordham. Louisville's got to beat Eastern Kentucky. Like, you just got to take care of business. You cannot let them hang around. SMU's got East Texas A&M. Didn't even know that was a school. So that means SMU should win that game by quite a bit. Let's take a timeout. Coming up, we'll get into some NFL. We'll update you on the Micah Parsons stuff. I don't think he's playing week 1, but we'll see. We'll update you on that, and we'll tell you about some of the guys who have gotten cut, at least early on, as we get down to the 53-man rosters coming up tomorrow afternoon. So we'll update you on that. And a couple of other things I want to get into as well. We'll take you up until 4, the Mashup Hour, Bob and I, 4 to 5. And then we'll get you ready for Bob will take you home from 5 until 6, 106.1 ESPN.
Hi, I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection, 0.5 milligrams.
If you've started thinking about what to wear this fall, your timing is perfect because Macy's Fall Preview event has early deals on looks everyone will be wearing. Romantic dresses from BCBG and Avec Les Filles, Western-inspired boots and bags from Steve Madden, all 25% off. Plus, take 15 to 25% off fall beauty from Yves Saint Laurent, Estee Lauder, and Clinique. Don't wait. This fall preview won't be around for long. So come into Macy's today. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to GNC.com.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club.
Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Apply now and save with no application fee through September 3rd. Visit umgc.edu to get started. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Bold opinions, hot brews, and well-done food takes. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, host of Fits the Bill. Join us and be part of the conversation every weekday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on ESPN Richmond. Let's get into it.
Welcome back. 106.1 ESPN. Matt Joseph's here, taking you up until 4. And, all right, so Micah's still not coming back to Dallas. And we had that brief period. It was like a couple days last week where, like, Jerry didn't say anything. He's like, I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to say a word. And then, of course, I don't know. I think it was like Thursday or Friday. And then over the weekend, he went on Michael Irvin's podcast. And then he went on Stephen A's podcast. I don't know. He talked about in the Michael Irvin podcast about how, like, he keeps saying the deal's done, and then it was the agent, and then it was the agent. And somebody has to be off here. Like, either that or this is the stupidest dispute of all time. Like, follow along with me. Jerry Jones talks to Micah Parsons. He has a deal finalized with Micah Parsons. Micah then says, go run it by my agent. Agent shuts it all down and says we have to start over. Jerry refuses to negotiate with the agent, saying he has a deal with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons says I can't do anything without my agent. I feel like that's kind of where we are right now. I can't believe this is where we're sitting at. Like, look, I'm good. The rest of us in the division, we're good. Like, we don't need him. But this is just insane. And then Jerry goes on all these things, and Jerry told Stephen A. Smith that basically you could offer, 7 first-round picks and all pros, and I'm not trading Micah Parsons. He's like, I have Micah Parsons for the next 3 years, which is interesting because he really doesn't. But he does, because he's got 1 more year left in his deal, and now he's saying, I will franchise tag you for the next 2 years after that, and the franchise tag is $22 million. Micah's looking for 50. And so it's insane. It's insane that, like, somebody else, and I obviously I don't want this to happen, but somebody has to get the both of them in the room and explain to them what is going on. Because unless Jerry's lying, which he could, Jerry's saying basically he's going to guarantee Micah Parsons more than almost any player other than a quarterback in the NFL. Like, if the deal that Jerry Jones is offering Micah Parsons that he said is true, like, this thing should have been signed on the dotted line and over. Like, you don't need the agent. The deal is great. But somebody has to be lying, because Micah can't be that stupid. Well, I guess Jerry could be that stupid, but Micah can't be that stupid for the deals that's being thrown, the numbers that are being thrown around. So I look, it's very simple. If I'm Stephen Jones, I get the two of them in a room and explain to them. This is almost like one of those situations where somebody tells somebody one thing, somebody tells another person a different thing, and they're both going off of different things. And all a third person has to do is get in there and say, hey, this is what's going on. Unfortunately, I've been through something like this with a girl and a best friend, and 2 different things are being said and done. And then a third person came in, told us both what was going on, and that was it. But that feels like what's going on here. Now, I say stupidity because I think stupidity runs in Dallas. I found this soundbite. So I guess this is the Ryan Clark podcast or The Pivot. I've never heard of it, but it's called The Pivot. And I saw this on Twitter. Ryan Clark. So DeMarcus Lawrence is in Seattle. He left Dallas for Seattle. And so Ryan Clark asked DeMarcus Lawrence, how close was he to retiring? This is what he had to say.
I was pretty close, but, thankful for my family. My kids and my wife weren't ready for me to hang it up. They told me, like, why not give it another try? Had an opportunity to, sign with Washington. It was like, that's a championship contender team. And it's like, me personally, I'm not no bandwagon guy. I'm not going to sit here and, jump on the team because y'all have a good opportunity to go to the championship. It's more of like, well, what am I needed for? If y'all already got that type of team, like, y'all don't need me, So it's all about, me bringing my attitude and my personality to a team to help us get to where we need to be.
So let's go over this, Jordan. So DeMarcus Lawrence doesn't want to sign with the team coached by his former defensive coordinator because they're too good, and he doesn't want to be LeBron essentially and like join a dream team.
Yeah, I guess his mindset was, I guess he kind of looked at it like, well, you've got Bobby Wagner, you've got Frankie Louvu, you've got Deron Payne, you've got all these guys on the defense that on paper seem to be impact guys. And so I guess he just kind of took it on himself to just evaluate it as maybe not the best fit, but to claim to not be a bandwagon guy. I mean, the Commanders went to the NFC Championship last year. You can't say the same for the Cowboys. The Cowboys haven't been in the NFC Championship since the 90s.
Well, and Washington needed defensive ends. Like, it's not like he was walking into a room with Reggie White and like all the all-time great defensive ends. I mean, we're thinking that there's a chance that Cleveland Ferrell gets cut, or that some of these defensive ends who are just okay, like, may not be there, but like they needed a defensive end and they needed him, and that's why they called him, and him being like, well, you guys are too good. What does that say to Seattle?
Right? Yeah, it's like are the Seahawks chopped liver here? Like, I don't even think the Seahawks are the best team in the NFC West.
No, but apparently they were bad enough for him to sign there. Here's I'm gonna give you what he actually meant to say, and this is what I'm gonna say. This is I'm decoding what he said. Here's what DeMarcus Lawrence said: Washington didn't pay me as much as Seattle did. Washington didn't give me what Seattle did. DeMarcus Lawrence signed a 3-year, $32.5 million contract, $3 million signing bonus, $18 million guaranteed. And he's got, they spread it out in different ways. So he's getting different amounts in every season. Like, let's be honest. You could say that the way you want to, but DeMarcus Lawrence basically just said, I didn't sign because they didn't give me enough money. That's all. Like, I get it. I would crush him no matter what for this, probably. I would say, like, oh, well, you didn't get enough money. Like, you are all about money, which is fine. Like, a lot of us are all about money, so I wouldn't care about that. But, like, to come out and say it that way, well, you guys are too good. What am I going to add to this team? Hello? Your former defensive coordinator's there. You're a very good defensive lineman. They have needs at defensive end. I was stunned when I saw that. I was absolutely stunned. Something else I was interested in seeing, Warren Sharp over the weekend, yesterday actually, posted a tweet. There were only 9 starting quarterbacks who did not play in the preseason. And that's fascinating. And I don't know what the number was last year, but it is fascinating to me that we're at 32 teams now. So 23 teams played their starting quarterbacks. Now, some of these are in different areas. Matthew Stafford didn't play because he had the back injury, and because Todd McVay. Sean McVay doesn't play his starters in the preseason. I get it. Lamar and Josh Allen didn't play. Look, I get it. I don't know what the histories are for them. I thought Josh Allen played in the preseason last year. Maybe a Bills fan can tell me. I get it. 2 of the best quarterbacks. Lamar got hurt. He got stepped on like last week or 2 weeks ago. So I understand that. Jalen Hurts didn't play. Sirianni doesn't play his starters on offense for the most part. So I get it. Aaron Rodgers is 97 years old. Now, I kind of understand it. Aaron Rodgers probably would benefit from playing in the preseason. He probably would benefit from playing the preseason. New team, new wide receivers and everything, but it's Aaron Rodgers. Okay, like I understand it. Jared Goff, along the same lines, older guy, new coordinators. I would have played him. Dak, okay. Baker Mayfield, okay. The one I didn't get is Michael Penix Jr. Like, here's Atlanta, who is starting let's be honest, and for all intents and purposes, Michael Penix Jr. is a rookie. Like, I get it. He played last year. I get it. But for the most part, he is a rookie in this league. And so to not play him at all is pretty interesting, considering they start out their season. They have a week 5 bye, but they start out with Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Carolina, and Washington before a week 5 bye week. Can you really afford not to give a rookie, essentially, I know, don't tell me I know, essentially give a rookie, preseason time? Remember, coming out of this bye week, they play Buffalo, San Francisco, Miami. Like, this is a division the Falcons could win and possibly should win. I'm more of a Tampa Bay guy than Atlanta, but like the talent's there in Atlanta. I just do not understand how Atlanta, who basically has played Easton Stick for the whole preseason, it felt like, an Emory Jones. Oh, yeah. And then they signed Ben DiNucci to play the final game against Dallas. And then they cut him. But Easton Stick got all the playing time almost at starting quarterback. I do not understand. I get not playing Kirk Cousins. You're not going to demean him if your starting quarterback's not going to play. I get it. Maybe I would have played both of them, but like Michael Penix Jr. not playing in the preseason is really weird to me. But then again, I think everything Atlanta does is really weird to me. Let's take our final timeout. Coming up, another state school releases their non-conference schedule, and we say goodbye to a legend. We'll do that in our final segment next, 106.1 ESPN.
Call Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling at 804-746-5853 today to learn more about their award-winning Lennox product offerings.
Progressive's Teen Driver Discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver Discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Experience the thrill of live horse racing all summer long at Colonial Downs Racetrack starting July 9th. Catch the action Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12:30 p.m. And don't miss our Friday twilight races at 4 p.m. The biggest summer of racing, food, fun, and excitement for all ages. There's something for everyone. Get your tickets and check out all the promotions now at colonialdowns.com. That's colonialdowns.com.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. Looking for a more natural way to sleep? Our orthopedic natural mattresses combine our legendary quality with nature's finest materials. We hand build each mattress using renewable materials like cotton, wool, and natural latex, creating a luxury sleep experience that's as good for the planet as it is for you. Visit one of our showrooms to try them out in person or visit originalmattress.com to learn more. The Original Mattress Factory. Sleep better, naturally.
Why listen to those national shows that don't talk about Richmond when you can tune in to Fits the Bill? We're live, local, and all about RVA sports. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, bringing you bold takes, big stories, and the coverage that matters to you. Join me every weekday from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on ESPN Richmond, because no one covers sports in Richmond like we do.
Final segment, 106.1 ESPN. Matt Joseph's here. We're going to have a fun week. No show Wednesday because we have an afternoon Braves game, but we got some fun stuff planned for the rest of the week. Let's go to the phones. Jerry, what's going on, Jerry?
Hey, what's going on, Matt?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing? I just wanted to call to give my condolences to the great George Lancaster of my Highland Springs High School. Graduated in 03. 03 was a great year. I graduated, like I said. Your Syracuse Orangemen won in 03, and we won our state high school basketball title in 03, I think in Lynchburg and Liberty. Dre was on the team, Andre Ingram, Jamar Flemings, just a couple of players on the team. But besides the point, we wouldn't have what we have without Lancaster. I mean, he brought a state title to us in 03 and 07. He had a good squad in 07 with Jamar Abrams, Brandon Rozelle. Now it so happens he's coaching VCU. So, I mean, it's with sadness, but I know at the end of the day, when you're past and you're gone, if nobody got nothing bad enough to say about you when you gone, you left the world a better place. Now, with the Iowa State-Kansas State game, you were just talking about that. I was so irate. Kansas State should have won that. But go ahead.
Oh, I didn't say anything. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Well, besides that, I just want to know, did you see the fight between the dad and the son? I didn't even know it was a fight. I just saw it. I was just laughing. If I could take you out this, if I brought you in this world, I could take you out this world was a video or in a dictionary book. That one right there speaks for itself. That's all I got to say, Matt. Enjoy the show and take care.
Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, so that's I teased it. I forgot to say, yeah, the video of the guy getting to a fight was Avery Johnson's dad and his older brother, which is crazy. I don't. And then they released a joint statement saying, "Wow, things got out of hand and stuff like that. We apologize." But yeah, that's the craziest video from the weekend. Other than the guy who learned how to field goal kick on YouTube, winning the game for Hawaii. He had quite the story as well, and he had quite the journey, but he learned how to field goal kick on YouTube and then had the game-winning field goal against Stanford. That's true ACC stuff right there happening as well. But as Jerry said, yeah, we lost one of the legends over the weekend. George Lancaster passed away at the age of 80. He had 726 wins, which is the fifth most in the VHSL history. 549 of them at Highland Springs, where he was there for 37 years. I mean, think about it. Obviously, if you're winning it, you're going to keep your job. But keeping a job in coaching for 37 years is crazy nowadays because everybody is so driven to win games and stuff like that. And if you have a bad season or two, people let go of you in high school. He was at Highland Springs for 37 years. And as Jerry mentioned, 2003 and 2007 were the championships. So thoughts and prayers go out to the Lancaster family and the Highland Springs family. It was a tough bit of news to see over the weekend that the legendary coach passed away at the age of 80. All right. That'll wrap things up here for the show. So we're going to have a lot of stuff. I mean, normally we're going to have our interviews with the Richmond player on Wednesday, and we're going to have Tim Murray on Friday, and we're going to start to have more UVA and Tech players on our airwaves. And I'm hoping to get somebody from the ACC network and the SEC network and all this different stuff. But really excited for the start of the college football season. If you ever miss a show, go to our website, espnrichmond.com, download the app, 106.1 ESPN. You can find my show. You can find Bob's show. You can find the Mashup Hour. You can find Jack's show there as well. And occasionally you can find some contests when we give away some tickets, which I think we're going to do so again soon. So stick around tomorrow. More college football talk as we get one day closer to the start of the season, one day closer to the start of the NFL season. And we'll certainly update you on the cuts that happen as they occur. But stick around through the break. We'll do the Mashup Hour next. 106.1 ESPN.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz.
Call Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling at 804-746-5853 today to learn more about their award-winning Lennox product offerings.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contract. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Ready to elevate your everyday? Quince has the luxe staples insiders swear by, minus the markup. From 100% European linen styles and 14-karat gold jewelry to gorgeous leather bags and elevated home finds, Quince has it all. And by partnering directly with top artisans and ethical factories, Quince delivers premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. Discover everyday luxury without the markup at Quince. Go to quince.com/style upgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/style upgrade.
Imagine if today was the day your idea changed someone's life. Imagine if you could help someone pay for college, help your community build a new playground, or help a child make it to that dream competition. With GoFundMe, it's all possible. GoFundMe is the world's #1 fundraising platform trusted by over 200 million people. Every week, ordinary people meet their goals and do extraordinary things. Your ideas matter. GoFundMe isn't just for emergencies. Want to raise money for your kid's soccer team or raise funds for a small business, a creative project, or event? GoFundMe helps you turn ideas into reality. And help adds up. Fundraisers you start for someone else raise up to 5 times more. So think right now, who could use your help? Change rarely comes from waiting. It comes from someone deciding, today I'll start. Don't wait for someone else to bring change. Today, start your fundraiser in just minutes at GoFundMe.com/radio. That's GoFundMe.com/radio to start your fundraiser. GoFundMe.com/RADIO. This is a commercial message sponsored by GoFundMe.
This is Freddie and Harry.
If he's not there by opening day against the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to trade Micah Parsons. They'll trade him probably for 2 number 1s. Maybe a 3rd-round pick or whatever they can get. If he's not there opening day playing football for the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys are going to do to him what happened to Khalil Mack. They're going to wind up trading him as all said and done. And then the Cowboy Nation will really crash out and dash out if that happens.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Earlier on Clinton and Friends.
Are we ready with the shot clock? Dylan in South Dakota, the shot clock is actually on. You're on the air.
In 07, Presti turns the Sonic cap space to future SGA and picks. Domino's, Rashard Lewis, Kurt Thomas, Serge Ibaka, Oladipo.
Oh, that's too bad. Dylan.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. And Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Can you spell Honolulu?
H-O-N-O, Lulu.
H-O-N-N-O-L-U-L-U.
There's a U in there, right?
H-O-N-A-L-U-L-U.
No, it's Hono.
No, it is an A.
There is no A in Honolulu.
You spelled it wrong.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Question: would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? And would you seat them in a car seat that's not the correct one? Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. More info at safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
From the Bull Rush ESPN studios. Learn more at bullrush.com/ESPN. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURB HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.
This is Sports Center.
The hold-in is over. I'm Chris Smith. Ahead of their regular season game against the Giants, the Commanders, when wide receiver Terry McLaurin reached an agreement on a 3-year contract extension worth up to $96 million, including a $30 million signing bonus, as agents told ESPN's Adam Schefter. McLaurin is coming off a second-season Pro Bowl appearance and has surpassed 1,000 yards for 5 consecutive seasons. And Raiders wide receiver Jacoby Myers has requested a trade, according to the NFL Network and confirmed by ESPN. Myers, who had 87 catches for over 1,000 yards and 4 TDs last season, has been seeking a contract extension. Meanwhile, ESPN's Mike Tenenbaum says don't sleep on QB Cam Ward, the top overall pick in the NFL draft for Tennessee.
He's always exceeded expectations. When you talk to teams at the Combine, they will tell you that the players that he played with love him. And you take those intangibles with what he can do from a tangible standpoint, and I think the sky's the limit, and I think they have a reasonable chance to win the division this year. And for all the discussions we have, I think he's almost like an under-the-radar first overall pick.
Heard on ESPN Radios on Sportsmanlike.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Check this out, y'all. Audio levels full volume. It's go time.
Live from the capital of the Commonwealth. This is the Mashup Hour of Border to Border and the Sports Huddle with Matt Josephs and Bob Black.
Welcome in on a Monday, 106.1 ESPN. Matt Josephs, Bob Black here. It is a game week in the state of Virginia. We got through week 0, which was like the unofficial start of the college football season. We're also closer to the start of the regular season, so the sun is shining and all is good. Bob, how are you?
Good, Matt. So 2 ways that I usher in the first game week of the season. I've got my depth charts for Richmond and Lehigh. And let me tell you, there is a stark contrast between the depth charts for these two nationally ranked FCS teams, preseason 1 and 2 in the Patriot League. We can get into that later. And secondly, Richmond hosts its traditional annual kickoff breakfast on Monday morning of game week with head coach Russ Huseman. About 200 people in the room having breakfast and listening to Coach Huseman preview the season. And I always kid as I MC that event, Matt, that because you got up early and you came to this breakfast, maybe Coach Huseman might just have a little bit of a scoop just for this group. At least until Bob gets on the air in the afternoon. And I actually have a little bit of a spider scoop from Coach Huseman. We can make this a radio tease, Matt, and get to it a little bit later, if not in this hour, in the 5 o'clock hour of the Sports Huddle. So for those 2 reasons, it is very definitely game week for yours truly.
Yes, it is. And we have a lot to get into. We this week are going to spend a lot of time on 2 programs a day. Today, tomorrow, Thursday as well. Unless the baseball game is really fast on Wednesday, we probably won't have much of a show on Wednesday because the Braves play at 1:15, Bob.
Yeah, but I plan on having the Sports Huddle at 5, and I know you'll be producing, so you can certainly crack the mic on Wednesday as well. And unless they go 18 or 19 innings, or have a rain delay, which is always possible, I would hope the Sports Huddle at 5 o'clock at the very least, and maybe even a little bit before that, get some extra time, some bonus time. We'll be on the air on Wednesday. Because you're right, we want to squeeze in as much live local talk as we can, particularly this week, with the start of all of our college football teams and then inching closer. Man, I mean inching closer. To think that there's still basically 2 weeks till the NFL starts, other than the Eagle-Dallas game on that Thursday. It just feels like it is crawling along to get to opening day in the NFL. But very excited that the college season is indeed upon us.
Well, a little bit of small breaking news. The cuts have started to begin for the Commanders. Nobody really that large, although I did find it interesting in this first round of cuts. Remember, we're getting down to the 53-man roster by tomorrow. Veteran wide receiver Michael Gallup, who used to play for the Cowboys and really hasn't done anything, I feel like, to distinguish himself. He is among the first cuts here, Bob, for the Commanders, as well as Virginia Tech Hokie Norrell Pollard as part of that defensive line.
Yeah, that's too bad on that one. So they are starting to trickle in. But I think we're burying the headline here, Matt. I really do. I think the Terry McLaurin signing, we better mention within the first 5 minutes of the show,
considering we have talked 5 hours plus about Terry McLaurin, and the fact that this news broke today is probably great timing, right, for the Commanders. I'm not so sure why it took so long. If these are the numbers that they eventually landed on. Am I wrong about that?
Well, I mean, listen, I said all along, for the people who wanted to give Adam Peters credit in this thing, they do not deserve it. He does not deserve it. He caved. He gave Terry exactly what he wanted. And if that was the case, why didn't we do this weeks ago?
Yeah, that's what I just said. Why didn't we do this weeks ago? I was shocked. Not so much the timing of it, because now is when these things kind of get done if you're really serious that the player's going to play in your uniform for this year, and that the player really didn't mean the trade request was all that sincere, and I don't think any of us thought it was very sincere at all. The number that they landed at just really surprised me, that it's right there at about what McLaurin wanted. Let me make sure I got this right, Matt, right? It's a $96 million deal for 3 years. And there's a $30 million signing bonus. So that's part of the 96, right? And that's basically his guaranteed money.
No, it's actually not the guaranteed money. It's just a signing bonus.
But it's part of the 96, and he's definitely getting it. So that is guaranteed money to him. That's the way
Correct. Well, we don't know the exact amount for his guaranteed money yet. Nobody has said. That's the weird thing. We have seen the 3 years, $96 million. And it's funny because there was somebody who said up to $96 million. There's somebody who said $96 million. And there's somebody who said as much as $96 million. So there is different wording to that $96 million, but that's the only number we've seen so far.
Well, I've seen the signing bonus number. And by everything that I can read, that is guaranteed money. For him. And yes, you are correct. The contract is worth up to $96 million over 3 years, includes a $30 million signing bonus, providing immediate financial security for Terry McLaurin.
Which we were also concerned about.
Right, we were. I mean, that's the number that I think was probably in play here. Maybe that is why it took so long, which was how much the signing bonus was going to be. And somebody smarter than me, maybe Espo, the lawyer out there, he can dial us in and explain if I'm right in this situation or if I'm interpreting this correctly. It's not $96 million and then you add on another $30 million for the signing bonus. The $30 million is part of the $96 million, but it's basically guaranteed. He's getting the signing bonus. I don't know if he gets it immediately, but it is. I think he does. And I think that's the guaranteed money for him, and that's probably what the sticking point was in all this. If they landed at $32 million a year, I think that's what McLaurin was basically asking for from day one of this thing, don't you?
Well, and we don't know, that's the nice, neat way of having this thing line up. We don't know if it's front loaded or back loaded. We don't even know, Bob, if 2027 is guaranteed. It could be one of those dummy years that you use to stretch things out a little bit. Like, we don't know anything really about this contract other than the $30 million and the $96 million.
Yeah, but I think the $30 million is what we're talking about. I do. Anyway, if somebody can tell me differently, I would love to know, because I'm not that smart to know this. But that $30 million is basically the guaranteed. And I don't know how they then break up the rest of it, $66 million over the next 3 years. That's probably part of the dot the I's and cross the T's that I don't know about. Anyway, it's a lot of money for Terry McLaurin, and I think it puts him in that rarefied air with the top, half dozen wide receivers in the NFL. Man, I saw a note there that basically pulls him even with our A.J. Brown of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, and Jamar Chase is 1, Justin Jefferson's 2, CeeDee Lamb's 3, DK's 4, Garrett Wilson's 5, and then A.J. and Terry are tied at 6. So that's it is, and he deserves it. And that's why I thought it was interesting when I saw today that Amon-Ra St. Brown was named 20th in the NFL's top 100 list, because I think Terry McLaurin's better than Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he is certainly getting paid more than Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's for sure.
That is for sure. Yeah, that's a good discussion. I don't know which of those receivers is better.
I think one of the reasons McLaurin's better is because of the quarterback he has. Nothing against Jared Goff at Detroit, but I think Jaden Daniels makes Terry McLaurin better, just like the opposite holds true. McLaurin will now make Jaden Daniels better, and I think offensively this is a huge boost for the Commanders, and it came basically in the nick of time. They played together all last year. McLaurin's been staying in shape. He's been ready to go. He's got 2 weeks now. They haven't started to put a game plan in for the Giants. He'll be able to go through all of the paces, and he will be ready to go on their first Sunday when they host New York.
Yes, and everybody gets to be where they're supposed to be. Debo's now the 2, Noah Brown's the 3, Luke McCaffrey's the 4. They don't have to move up one spot and be something that they're not ready to be. Zach Ertz gets to be the kind of reliable guy across the middle and everything. My question and my worry for the Commanders is always the first game or two, Bob, when they come off the injury. Hopefully he doesn't pull a hamstring or do anything like that, because we've seen that at times after these holdouts.
Agreed, but I think he has basically 14 days to ramp himself up.
Excuse me. And I think he's one of those guys that keeps himself in pretty good shape year-round. He has certainly done that over the past 7 years. He's proven to be very durable with the Commanders. Yes, that could certainly happen. The always ill-fated non-contact football injury can always happen. But I think, like I said, I think this has happened in the nick of time to have him ramped up and pretty much close to 100%. And ready to
unless that sprained ankle pops itself up again. Right? That could always happen. That ankle injury that put him on the pup list, that could always raise ugly.
Oh yeah, that one that suddenly gets cured by green lions, green dollars. I think that's what saves it.
Exactly. So that was big news today. Start of the week and start of the first college football week, full week of the season, and all that. And there's Terry McLaurin news that every Commander fan has been waiting for.
Exactly. And now we all just kind of wait to see where the 53-man roster goes from here. I don't feel like there's a lot of huge roster decisions. I'm sure there's some little ones here and there. We may get surprised by somebody who gets cut. There could be trades. I mean, the Eagles made 3 trades over the weekend. So there's things that could happen for this Commanders roster, but we await to see what the final 53 is.
Yeah, the Eagles were somewhat surprisingly active over the weekend, right? And I think by all accounts, Getting Sam Howell kind of leads the Philadelphia contingent to believe that the Tanner McKee injury is much more severe than was probably led on originally with a broken thumb, which is obviously a major problem for a quarterback. And that's why they went out and got Sam Howell to be the backup quarterback, because McKee's just not going to be ready for opening week.
Well, yeah, if he's not ready for the first week, I mean, I think that's where you need somebody, because, DTR and Kyle McCord aren't ready to be quarterbacks. I thought it was interesting. Once again, we attach the Eagles and the Commanders and Carson Wentz and Sam Howell once again. The two of them will be forever linked in NFL history.
Yep. Carson Wentz lives to play for yet another team since his departure from Philadelphia, and Sam Howell finds himself in an Eagle uniform. I don't think that's so bad. I mean, obviously he's got a full year as a starting quarterback, basically a full year under his belt, but he was with the Commanders. So I think that's a pretty serviceable backup quarterback. I hope he never gets into a game, but I think, depending on what happens with McKee, that's a pretty serviceable backup quarterback for the Eagles to start the season.
Yes, I guess I have to take back every negative thing I said about Sam Howell the year he was. But I also remember Sam Howell was running for his life behind that offensive line and never had any time for anything. So
he's with a way better team. Now he had to get in the game, and Jalen Hurts should have to come out of the game. He's got much better supporting cast around him than Howell had the year he was in DC.
So we'll keep you posted on that. There are the cuts that are continuing in. I believe it's 4:00 tomorrow is when you have to get to the 53-man roster. So
perfect timing there. I love that. 4:00 just for us.
Just for us, Bob.
That's excellent. I love that. We will have all sorts of breaking news tomorrow on that front. So that's pretty cool. By the way, speaking of the Eagles, I don't know if you mentioned it, but You saw the news came out where Jalen Hurts landed on that top 100 list, didn't you?
Yeah, too high in my mind. But
Really?
yes, he finally made it. Yes. You don't think he's not too high there?
19?
19.
I think it's close.
He is not the 19th best player.
I think he's close. I'm okay with it. I think it's a little high, but I would have said in the 20s. So I'm certainly okay with that. I feel good for him. Certainly. If he puts any stock in it, because it's all his player buddies. But he is on the list, and I know you were fretting and worried over that. So he is on the list at number 19. Yeah, probably a little bit high. Considering when the voting was done, and you done a great job of reminding everybody the voting was in December before he became the Super Bowl MVP. But now, kind of, post facto, the fact that he was a Super Bowl MVP, if he had not been there at all, that would have been ridiculous. So I'm actually kind of okay with it, and we can put it back. Has Saquon Barkley been on that list?
No, he's going to be top 10.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that. I see you're wearing an Eagles jersey. I didn't quite see which one it was. I'm both today, Matt's in the studio.
It's Brian Westbrook.
Oh, all right. I almost went to my closet and pulled out my only sports jersey that I've ever purchased, Saquon Barkley, and put it on today. Just for this video on our show, but I didn't do it.
You know who's the next really interesting name that I don't know where they're going to be, and I'm going to be annoyed because it's going to be too high. Jared Goff has not I'm
going to say he's not going to be on there. I mean, maybe. I can't see them putting him ahead of Jalen Hurts. Can you? I think the other top four are certain. Other top four quarterbacks are certain to be there, right?
He was 48th last year on the list.
I don't know about that. I'm with you. If he's above Hurts, that's going to rub me the wrong way. Certainly. But between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, I can't imagine Goff squeezing in between those four and Jalen Hurts. I just don't see that coming.
There's 18 players left. And, we got to remember it's for every position, and those four guys take up 4 spots. So we're seeing, but Jared Goff has not been mentioned yet. So
I mean, I know a decent number of Lions fans, believe me, but I just can't see he's ahead of Jalen Hurts. Sorry.
Get your outrage ready, Bob, when he gets announced at 17.
Yeah, that's true. That could happen, right? He could be in the very next installment, couldn't he? And he could be a neighbor of Jalen Hurts there in pecking or whatever. I don't.
Let's just say this, Bob. If he's top 10, I'm going to highly wonder what the player's mindset is when they voted for this. Because he is not a top 10 player in the NFL.
And I think you voiced a little bit of that skepticism last week, and I don't think you're wrong or off base. Some of these players probably took this fairly seriously. Other players probably just checked boxes and got it done. Probably some didn't even fill it out at all. So I do think there's a little bit to that. I think the fact that it's players does make it a little more legitimate if they took it seriously. And I got to believe out of however many NFL players there are, a handful probably did not take it particularly seriously.
Let's take a time out, Bob. There was news today out of Harrisonburg that I thoroughly enjoyed. So we could certainly talk about that. And we'll start our previews. We'll start hammering down win numbers. Today we're going to talk Tech and UVA. So we're going to figure out schedules and things like that and finally put on the books how many wins we think these teams are going to have. Bob, are you ready to go on the record?
I will put some sort of numbers out there. I don't know if I'm ready to go on the record or not, but I'll match you on the JMU with the Richmond news from Russ Huseman today. It was kind of interesting, something I hadn't heard at all, and it does involve one of their starting players. And I got to correct you. We'll do it after the break. I got to correct something that you said in the 3 o'clock hour when we came to Camp Home and Kyle Wickersham. So we'll do that when we come back. Yes, I'll be ready to give you some thoughts on the Hokies and the Cavaliers as part of our previews of our state. Teams will do all that. Other side of the break on the Mashup Hour, Border to Border Sports Huddle, 106.1 ESPN.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Let me tell you about this new Pretzel Cheddar Club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Apply now and save with no application fee through September 3rd. Visit umgc.edu to get started. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Do you want a shot at $50,000? Bull Rush just launched the NFL Survivor, a $100,000 total prize pool sports picking competition. Survive 20 weeks, finish first, and take home $50K. Join now at bullrush.com/ESPN.
Serving Richmond and beyond for over 20 years, Bonaire Shell features a full line of automotive services. Check out BonaireShell.com, loaded with coupons, specials, and more to see all that they can do for your car and your peace of mind. And now with their Fuel Rewards program, you can save at least 5 cents per gallon on every fill-up. Learn more at FuelRewards.com. Go see the team at Bonaire Shell, 8762 West Huguenot Road. Go to BonaireShell.com or call them at 272-3232. That's 272-3232.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront at ESPN welcome. Simple plan with Bowling Pursuit, 303 at Lolo, Tuesday, August 26th. Tickets are on sale now. Gavin Adcock with Braxton Keith and Laney Gardner, Thursday, August 28th. Tickets are on sale now. Allison Krause and Union Station featuring Jerry Douglas, Friday, August 29th. Tickets on sale now. Tickets are available at livenation.com. Part of the Virginia Credit Union Concert Series. Click on espnrichmond.com for more Live Nation concert information.
This is Joe Simpson with the Atlanta Braves, and when I'm on my road trip to D.C. and Baltimore, I always tune in to 106.1 ESPN Richmond for all my sports news. They've got you covered.
And thanks to Joe Simpson and the Atlanta Braves crew for rallying to knock off the New York Mets yesterday in Atlanta. 4-3, while the Phillies were scrapping one out against the very scrappy Washington Nationals 3-2, and increased Philadelphia's lead to 7 games in the National League East as they get set to start a 3-game series in New York tonight. But I digress. By the time, welcome back, Border to Border Sports Huddle. We put it together and bring you the Mashup Hour. He's Matt Joseph. I'm Bob Black, Jordan producing in our ESPN Richmond studios this afternoon, 804-327-0888. By the time James Madison kicks it off Saturday against Weber State with whoever is going to be at quarterback, the Richmond Spiders' first game will already be in the books. They play at Lehigh at noon. Saturday, our coverage starts at 11:30 with the Spiders kickoff show. Chris Anderson will be on the sideline Saturday, and Jasmine Coleman makes another return to the broadcast booth with me. Matt Smith is out of town on work travel and is missing game one. So tune in, 11:30 pregame, high noon kickoff. Spiders' first ever Patriot League game against the number one preseason team in the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. The Spiders are number 2 preseason in the Patriot League poll. All right, that having been said, Matt, the news today from Harrisonburg that Alonzo Barnett is ready to take a hit or two, as much as quarterbacks ever take a hit during a preseason camp or practice, but he has been fully cleared. That doesn't mean he's going to start, right? It just means he has been fully cleared. What do you expect when JMU releases that depth chart? As I mentioned, I saw Richmond's and Lehigh's today. I think tomorrow is JMU's day. You would know better than I would. But do you think we're going to see a couple of oars on that depth chart, and we're going to see 3 names, or do you think we're going to see one or and then a clear number 3? How do you think this is going to play out?
Well, I don't think there's a guarantee we see a depth chart.
Come on. Don't pull that on me.
No. I'm saying because App State did not release a depth chart for their game. There's a lot of teams. Syracuse and Tennessee did not release.
That is so bad, man. That's awful. Just do it. That's ridiculous. I'm speaking as a media member and a broadcaster right now, and somebody who deals with information. Just put out a depth chart. Come on. Let's not take ourselves too seriously.
I get it, Bob, but I'm just saying, until the NCAA makes you put one out,
they put one out every week for as long as I can remember covering James Madison. Why are they going to start this week that they're not putting out a depth chart?
And it has not come out yet. So
I think their day is Tuesday. I think they do their media session on Tuesday, and that's when they put it all out with their media notes and all. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I don't know, but I'm just saying it's not a guarantee that they could put it out because some other schools haven't. But I think you're going to see a lot of oars. I just think I feel like it's really a 2-person race. I think it's Alonza and I think it's Matthew Sluka, and I think there's a chance that Cam redshirts, or I think Cam is the third. Just kind of going off of some of the video that we've seen come out of Harrisonburg, where you see Sluka working with the 2s and Cam working with the 3s. The whole jersey change thing, like I just feel like. And I said this to Jack on Talking Dukes, that the coach has done a tremendous job playing Houdini here and just kind of making everyone believe that Sluka was going to start this year when it could have been Alonza all along. Who knows?
I think it makes total sense that it comes down to the 2 of them. I mean, Alonza Barnett is the incumbent, the starter, and Matthew Sluka played for Bob Chesney at Holy Cross, so he's got the familiarity with him there. And then the UNLV thing, and then he winds up in Harrisonburg. And I know that kind of leaves Cam Coleman a little bit as the odd man out right now, but he's got more time ahead of him. So I think that makes some sense what you're saying. But I think it's Barnett if he's clear to play in the game. And which I guess is what was said, right? If I'm reading this correctly, he's been fully cleared. So that means he's been fully cleared to play. Now it's just a matter of whether they'll choose him to be the starting quarterback, or they'll hold him out for a little while. Let him get a little healthier.
Well, and the interesting thing is they have a game next Friday night at Louisville. So I think they both play. I don't know how much they both play. I don't know what the percentages are, but I think then one guy will play for the most part on Friday against Louisville.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there will be a clear number 1 by the Friday game against Louisville, but it wouldn't surprise me if both of them play. They should win this game big this week, and when they get a lead, they can start alternating quarterbacks. They can even throw Coleman in there if they want to. So that makes a lot of sense, and I don't think you want to overdo it with Barnett. I mean, he's still wearing a big, bulky, heavy brace on that knee, which I assume he's going to wear in the games. So I don't think you want to overdo it with him, Matt. And, it is a short week for them to come back and travel and play at Louisville on a Friday night. So it would not surprise me if they handle him with kid gloves at least through the first game.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to be winning that game and winning it by a lot, not be UNLV, Bob, who was losing in the fourth quarter to Idaho State on Saturday. So, you want to make sure that you're out in front as much as possible so you can get some reps for Sluka. Or if you want to play Cam and you've already played Sluka, that's kind of the good part of these FCS games, Bob, is because you can try some different things and see what works against, a Weber State. Maybe you save some stuff for Louisville. Who knows?
I don't know. Ask UNLV about that. They escaped with their lives. Were they behind at halftime? I think it was close. If they weren't behind.
Yeah, they were down 17-14 at halftime.
Now, our guy, Calandria had a good game, right? I mean, he threw for a decent number of yards. He ran for almost 100. He had a touchdown pass. I know he split some time with UNLV as well, but I think Anthony Calandria showed pretty well for his first game. And heck, they put 38 points on the board.
Yeah, cannot blame our guy Calandria. He is not his UNLV's defense. That's a different story, but the offense and Calandria, he was very good. So yeah, that was good to see from him.
So while we're talking quarterbacks, just one thing. Cam Coleman did not beat out Kyle Wickersham for quarterback last year. Not before the season, not during the season, not at all did he beat him out. Wickersham got hurt in game number 3 and it became a season-ending injury, and Coleman took over. He did not beat out Kyle Wickersham. And Russ Huseman actually talked to that today at the breakfast this morning. Twice Kyle Wickersham has actually won the starting job. Now, you can argue whether he should have won the starting job or not. I know you have done that, and there is some legitimacy to that, particularly considering the numbers Coleman did put up eventually last year. But just so you know, he did not beat out Kyle Wickersham last year.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I wish he would have, because I think he was the better quarterback of the two of them. I wish he would have started week one, but that's fine. Eventually we got there. But I was saying, Bob, that I think Cam should have started week one.
Right. That certainly is up for debate, and by the type of year that Coleman eventually had, I can understand the legitimacy of that. But it would have remained Wickersham's position had he not got hurt at least a little bit further. So maybe he struggles or Coleman shows more in practice. But it never came to that during the course of the season. So he did not beat him out.
No, but yeah, I'll be very interested. I think that, as I said, Bob, all along, as a media member, I hate the secretiveness, but as a fan, I'm all for it. Like, I don't want to give any sort of information out. Like, I don't want to give anybody any sort of advantages. Let's be honest. If you're the opponent, you don't need necessarily a depth chart. You have an idea as to who's starting. So if Tennessee and Syracuse don't want to release them, oh well, you know who's going to be under center. You know who probably the starting running backs and wide receivers are going to be.
Well, and I think that needs to just become either a conference rule and or guideline, or an all of college football rule or guideline, because those depth charts are kind of the lifeblood for people like me, Matt. And there's a lot of people like me. There are a lot of media people that depend on that to do their pregame preparation so that we can give out the proper information to our audience when we get to Saturday. So I think we're making a big deal about this. We've been doing this for 100 years. It does annoy me when teams don't put out a depth chart. And I think they should be doing it. But like I said, if they're not going to do it, let's just make a guideline that in the Sun Belt, we're not doing two deeps anymore. And then we can figure out other ways to get the starting lineups, if you will. But until then, for the teams that aren't putting them out, I give it a thumbs down.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. Or maybe they should just give you the depth chart and trust you not to tell anybody.
Well, that would be great. I think they're over-trusting all of us in that regard, but I want them for both teams. I can get mine. I know I can get Richmond's, but I want the other teams. I want to be informed so that when I go on the air, and I would say that. You're absolutely right. No, I won't say anything. I'll guard it with my life. I won't let anybody see the scribble on my chart. But we do need that information. And now, to your point, once you get through about the first game or two of the year, you can just look at tape and you can look at a stat sheet and you can see who's playing the most and you can prepare that way. That's just my point. I just think it's really petty of these schools that are hiding depth charts at this point, where one school does and the other school doesn't, or if we're not going to release ours, then they're not going to release theirs. I just think it's petty, and I'd say let's either do it or let's not do it. But we've been doing it for like 100 years at this point.
And remember also, they mean nothing. They literally mean nothing. You could put down the fourth stringer as the starting quarterback, and he could be the fourth stringer. So
that's an NFL thing to do. And that has not happened in college. I'm going to tell you, at least at my level, and I don't think it has either at the power level or the FBS level up until recently. I don't think that has happened. I think you've gotten relatively legitimate depth chart. Now, do you get it or here or there in a Barnett, Sluka, Coleman situation? Yes, and that's fine. I get that. But it's one or the other. Put them both on the depth chart. I'm okay with that. And some teams have gone to like listing 3 guys and a lot of or. I understand that. I do. But to just not put anything out at all, again, I'm being repetitive here. It is kind of petty in my mind.
327-0888. That is the phone number. That is the text line. 804 is the area code. We promise that if we do get the depth charts, we're not going to tell anybody. And
all right.
See my fingers.
All right. I actually like the people at James Madison. I have literally over the course of time, even when it was a rivalry game for Richmond, and many of those people, not many, but a good number of those people are still there. I have complete confidence that tomorrow, which I think is their meeting.
It's either tomorrow or Wednesday, but I'm thinking it's tomorrow.
Today, and then maybe they put the media notes out tomorrow because they obviously the coach talked today and the players talked today.
It could be. I mean, they do like their weekly luncheon, which is what they've always done.
Yeah, I don't know where the place is where they have their lunch.
But they normally do that, and the notes either come with that or they follow the very next day. So we'll see. But my confidence is that when the media packet of notes comes out for JMU, there will be some semblance of a depth chart. particularly in this game against an FCS opponent. There very likely will be an or at quarterback. I certainly believe that. But I also believe Chris Brooks and all those fine folks at JMU, there will be a depth chart in their media notes.
Last thing before we take our break, Bob, the ACC starts out 0-1 in true Stanford/ACC fashion. They lose to a field goal kicker who learned how to field goal kick on YouTube, and they lose a game. They were up in the fourth quarter, so the conference starts out 0-1.
Yeah, more of that coming up on our Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week, by the way, in the 5 o'clock hour. As one of our sports plays of the week, I straddled the fence this week, so I'm going to ask Jordan to help me pick the actual official legitimate play of the week. But you're right on point with one of them that will be up for vote and discussion. And you've been saying this all along, Matt. Stanford's just not a very good football team. I mean, they were getting excited over the fact that a running back finally rushed for a touchdown, which, unless I heard this wrong, they hadn't had since 2023. Like, they went a whole year without a running back getting a rushing touchdown. I must have misheard that. But, that 20-play drive, where in many instances that's a phenomenal drive, to me, that thing just plodded along. And, they could have broken a couple of those for touchdowns, and they just didn't have the ability to do it. You said it. I agree with you. Stanford's in for a long year.
Yeah, 8 touchdowns. Yeah, all 11 touchdowns rushing came from their quarterbacks.
Wow. So, and they had the Ford kid had a rushing touchdown Saturday. It's going to be a long year for Stanford. And you made a great point about Frank Reich being kind of the interim coach there. I watched a decent amount of that game because it wasn't on at 11 o'clock at night and I hadn't fallen asleep. They showed Andrew Luck over and over and over again as the general manager of the Stanford team. And I got to believe, Matt, he's got some bigger things coming for Stanford football. It's not going to stay at this level for very long because whatever fan base they have is going to evaporate.
Well, that, and if their academic standards change, remember, we heard at ACC Media Day that Virginia and Duke both changed their academic standards ever so slightly, and it's allowed them to compete a little bit.
Absolutely. And I don't know the answer to Stanford if they have or they haven't. I got to believe it's on Andrew Luck's to-do list if it hasn't happened yet. And it absolutely has to in order to be competitive for Duke or Virginia to be competitive in football or other sports. And again, I think we're both saying the same thing here. We're not changing academic standards to the point where we're going to embarrass our university and our professors and our deans. We're not doing that, but we are making some concessions to allow top athletes to come play at our universities,
well,
right?
If you're going to have football, if you're going to have sports, you got to be competitive. You either become competitive or get rid of sports altogether and just focus on academics.
Yeah, that's why I think what Virginia and Duke did was absolutely the right thing to do. And man, I would hope Wake Forest and Stanford are doing Northwestern. That's a really good one. Are doing the same thing or have it within the plan to do it in a pretty quick time frame also, because if you fall too far behind now, you're never going to catch up.
Let's take our time out. We'll start our previews this week. Virginia and Virginia Tech, our first two. We'll give you our thoughts on their schedule, their week 1 opponents. We'll do that next. 106.1 ESPN.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry. Terry! Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it. Woo! Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Experience the thrill of live horse racing all summer long at Colonial Downs Racetrack starting July 9th. Catch the action Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12:30 p.m. And don't miss our Friday twilight races at 4 p.m. The biggest summer of racing, food, fun, and excitement for all ages. There's something for everyone. Get your tickets and check out all the promotions now at colonialdowns.com. That's colonialdowns.com.
Tune into the ESPN Richmond Herman Allen Sports Play of the Day, presented exclusively by Herman Allen Plumbing and Cooling, your premier Lennox dealer.
The radio's all yours now.
You want Richmond sports talk in the morning? I got you covered. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, host of Fits the Bill, the only local morning sports talk show coming at you weekdays 8 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Richmond.
Welcome back. 106.1 ESPN. Mashup Hour. Matt Josephs, Bob Black here. We take you up until 5. Bob will take you home from 5 until 6. All right, Bob, let's start with the team I think is going to be better of the two, and that's the Virginia Cavaliers, who are hosting Coastal Carolina 6 o'clock on Saturday. A night game in Charlottesville, Bob, should set some nice mood for the Cavaliers as they get ready to play the Chanticleers.
I'm with you, Matt, on that one. I do think Virginia is poised to have a bowl caliber season. And we have, reiterated this several times since July, probably, that's kind of Virginia's first ceiling, if you will. It's a movable ceiling, but get to 6 wins. Like Tex is higher than that, but Virginia needs to get to 6, which would get them a bowl game. I think they're going to get there, and maybe a couple beyond that, as a matter of fact. Their early season schedule, they should get some wins out of that. And so much of this, I think, for them, well, first off, so much of it depends on their transfers in general, just because of the massive number of transfers that they have. That is always an X factor. If they don't mesh, if they don't come together, if it's, each man for himself, if it's for the name on the back of the jersey, not the front of the jersey, it could go south. It could go sideways in a hurry. I think we know that. But by all indications, it's been a good group of transfers. They've had a good camp, and I think so much of it just falls on the shoulder pads of the North Texas quarterback transfer of Chandler Morris. I think if he engineers the offense the way they hope he will, I think the Cavaliers can have some success this year.
So I think this is a 7-win team. And originally I wanted to say they're going to go 7-0 at home and 0-5 on the road, but I can't do that. So I think they potentially lose the Florida State game at home. But I think they win at Cal on November 1st, and I think this team's a 7-win team. Now, the worry here, Bob, for me is this team doesn't know how to win yet. They're not a winning program yet, and so there's probably going to be a game or two that are down to the wire, and they don't make the right plays and lose. So that's my kind of worry, Bob, is you have to learn how to win.
Yeah, and they got to learn how to win on the road. I think if they're going to be a bold team and a 7 or 8 win team, well, mathematically, if they're going to be an 8-win team, they've got to win at least one. But that's why the first one would worry me a little bit. And at NC State, I think that one could be a speed bump for them. I know it's not a conference game, but still, it's the second game of the year. That's always traditionally been a tough place to play. I would worry a little bit about that one for them. But other than that, I mean, I see a pretty good start for them. I think Florida State becomes kind of a crossroads game because I believe Florida State will be significantly better, but how much significantly better from being, awful, that on a Friday night under the lights in Charlottesville, That's a game that they could certainly win. So early season schedule, NC State would worry me, but Florida State's a game. That's the one that I think they could really come together if they could win that game and have a big crowd on a Friday night, all national television, all of that. So the first half of the season, to me, I look at those two games.
Well, and it's funny because last year, Bob, we looked at their schedule last year. We saw a lot of wins early, and then we saw the Clemson, and we saw Notre Dame and SMU. And before the season, we knew they were going to lose those games. I would say outside of the road trip to Louisville, and I'm a lot higher than others are on Duke, other than those two games, Bob, there's not a game that I would say I definitely think Virginia can't win.
On the entire schedule?
On the whole schedule, yes.
Yeah, no, I think there's something to that as I'm scrolling through it even more. I think the game at North Carolina, if they've come together and they win that Florida State game, which is the one at home, I think Louisville's going to be tough on the road. Then I think the North Carolina game becomes their next crossroad, right? I mean, that's the game that you look at. Let's go on the road. The whole Bill Belichick thing, all of that they could potentially win. And that's a game that could point them to a bowl game and probably to your prediction of at least 7 wins. And I would go there. I think it's, not to use your betting parlance, but 6.5 would be a good number for me for Virginia, meaning I'm somewhere between 6 and 7 wins for the Cavaliers.
It's funny. I actually think the Cal game is tougher in terms of coming off of the North Carolina game on the road. You're now having to fly out west, play a Cal team that's not great. This all depends on how the North Carolina game goes. If they lose a close game to Carolina, I could see them being hung over a little on a flight out to California. So that could be a tricky game in the start of November.
Yep, I definitely agree with you on that. And I do think one way or the other, there will be some carryover from the North Carolina game. Now, the coaches are going to refute that. Always, just one game at a time, next game on the schedule, put the one behind us, all of that. But I think there's something to that. The Carolina trip, obviously not a difficult one logistically and for their bodies. And if they could get that one, that makes the trip out to Cal a heck of a lot better, heck of a lot easier. Prep becomes a lot better for that game as well. So, yeah, that's an important 2-game stretch for them. They got to get at least one of those two. And if they're really going to come together, they get both of them.
By the way, you are correct. The win total in Vegas is 6.5 with a heavy lean to the under. So most people are leaning towards the 6 instead of the 7, and they are the over/under is 3.5 in ACC wins. So
I'm going to go to the 7, Matt. If I got that part of it right, I'm going to be a little more positive. I'm going to go glass half full here on Virginia. And if I'm saying 6.5, my lean, is that the right phrase? Because I don't know any of this. I would go 7.
By the way, they are, as of now, a 10.5, 11-point favorite in that game on Saturday against Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, I'm going a strong 7. The more I scroll through this thing, and maybe that's ill-placed, my confidence and positiveness with a Virginia team that's been pretty bad. But, yeah, I'm going to go a strong 7 for the Cavaliers.
And then on the opposite end, it is Virginia Tech, who last year we hyped up. We thought they were going to do well. They fizzled out quickly and started slow, and they can't afford to start slow this year, Bob, with 2 SEC opponents and 3. Technically, their first road game is not until September 27th, so there's an opportunity to bank some wins here. But Tech cannot afford to start slow again.
Yeah, even if you don't get the first one against South Carolina, you got to get the next 3. And there's some potholes there, quite frankly. I mean, Vanderbilt obviously beat them last year. Should have a chip on your shoulder there, and you get them at home. Old Dominion rivalry game. We've seen the craziness that can happen there. And then certainly you should get Wofford. And then they get their shot at NC State down at Carter Finley Stadium. So that becomes a circle game for me. The early in the season for them is the at NC State game. And then the next sneaky tough one will be at Georgia Tech, the second Saturday in October. But, they got to find a game in there somewhere where the experts are saying they're not going to win, and they got to win it. I mean, I think I worry a little bit about them defensively, Matt. I think with change of defensive coordinator and what's happened there, I worry a little bit about the Hokies defensively.
Well, and when I'll do the same thing I did with UVA's schedule. The only game that I'm really not as confident in is the game down in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. I mean, look, Miami, you at least get it home, and we know that unfortunately they lose those games lately at home. But if I'm saying right now, who am I guaranteed? Well, I guess South Carolina too. I don't think Tech's going to win that game, but South Carolina and Georgia Tech are the only two games I'm giving them L's instantly.
Yeah. And I mean, both Miami and Louisville are at home. So that helps a little bit. And if by that point in the season they're having a good year, it will help even more. So that's why they got to stockpile some wins early on in this thing. But I'm with you on the game at Georgia Tech, but I will also throw NC State in there. I just think it's a hard, tough place to play. I don't even know how good NC State is supposed to be or not be this year, but I think for both Virginia and Virginia Tech, that's a tough one. My gut, Matt, tell me if I think to the folks at NC State and Raleigh, Virginia Tech will get them more lathered up than Virginia will, but I think it's going to be tough for both of our teams to play well there at Carter Finley.
Yeah, it should be for NC State. You know, the Virginia game is in week 2. The Tech game is in week 5. And that comes off of a road game against Duke. So there might be a little hangover for NC State, but if they lose that Duke game, they could be really angry and want to take it out on Tech.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. So their schedule has got a few more, twists and curves to it. But again, they need to get to 8 wins. What's the over under on
6.5?
Just like Virginia.
Yes, with a lean to the under as well, much like Virginia. So no faith in the Hokies out in public.
Interesting. I was just looking at the preseason predicted order of finish, and NC State's right in the middle of the pack there. So they become competitive games, right? I mean, we're not necessarily ranked, hanging our hat on everything on a preseason ranking for sure, but they're 10 and Tech is 11 and Virginia's 14. So those are games that should be competitive and could go either way. And the games at NC State, I would certainly look at, particularly for the Hokies. Yes,
I'm thinking 6 wins. I'm thinking another 6-6 season, and that's sad because in theory they should take care of business against Louisville and Miami at home. But until they win a good game at home, I can't pick them in those games.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. 6-6 to me would be a disappointment. Isn't that what they were last year? Right, going into the bowl game.
Well, yeah, and then the question is, do they need a new head coach?
It's a great question. Back-to-back 6-6s or 6-7s, especially considering, Whit Babcock's very public presentation to the Board of Visitors. I don't know that back-to-back 6-6s or 6-7s is going to go over very big.
Well, and if they lose to UVA to finish out that season, that's even worse.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is. You're right. So, like I said, I think their bar has been placed a little bit higher. And they need to get to, I guess a solid 7, maybe, pending who some of those are, but maybe even 8 for them. And then, a decent bowl game and a win to kind of keep the Brent Pry program rolling along.
All right, that's our thoughts on Tech and UVA. Tomorrow we'll do ODU and JMU. Let's take our final timeout for a Monday, 106.1 ESPN.
They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Big news. Mechanicsville Kia is opening this October, and we're hiring for all positions. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, if you value honesty, accountability, and exceptional service, we want you on our team. This is your chance to grow with a dealership built on integrity, teamwork, and a commitment to putting people first. Customers, employees, and our community. Apply today at mechanicsvillekia.com. That's mechanicsvillekia.com. Mechanicsville Kia. Trust at every turn.
The early reviews are in for Richmond's only local morning sports talk show.
Hey, Fitz, man, you're doing a great job. First, I want to give you a shout out to that. You and Alan are doing a great job, man.
Join the convo and start your day with Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick every weekday.
Listen, guys, I love your show. I really do. Appreciate it. Listen to it every morning.
Clock in to Fitz the Bill every weekday from 8 to 10 a.m. on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
All right, Matt, I've saved the best for last for you because I'm going to give it up to you. I hope you're sitting down. Let me look on our video. Yes, you are. You are sitting down in our ESPN Richmond studios. You can watch us talk on the radio, on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram as well. Matt looking great in his Brian Westbrook Eagles jersey today. But, Matt, I got to tell you, I sat down Saturday night and again Sunday night to watch some baseball. And some of the reason I sat down to watch this game Saturday night was because the Phillies game is blacked out in my area because I don't get Masson and I can't watch the Phils and the Nationals, although I had it on the radio. But I watched the Dodgers-Padres on Saturday night, and I watched the Red Sox-Yankees on Sunday night, and I think you know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to give it up to you, Matt. It was way better watching the Dodgers-Padres on Saturday night from a rivalry perspective and the frenzy of the crowd than it was watching Red Sox Yankees on Sunday. So I bow down to you on our rivalry argument conversation. At least for 2025, the Padres Dodgers was better.
Look, and if you're getting anybody in LA and San Diego angry or in a frenzy for anything other than the weather or yes. tofu or whatever, then that's good.
Yes, absolutely it is. And I have not been to Dodger Stadium. It's on my checklist, but I have been to Petco Park, and it was wonderful and beautiful and good crowd, but it certainly wasn't the frenzy that I watched over the weekend. They already had the towels waving. This isn't even October baseball, and in San Diego, they had the towels waving. So chalk one up for you, Matt Josephs. Dodgers, Padres ahead of Red Sox, Yankees.
Listen, I'm occasionally going to get something right, like one or two things a year, Bob.
I think it's more than that, but I almost texted you over the weekend, Sunday night, as I was watching the Yankees, Red Sox, and I said, I'll wait till Monday and I'll spring it on you, and I'll let you have a good Monday because of that. So, well done.
Thank you, Bob. And hopefully everybody can stick around as the Sports Huddle comes up next in the 5 o'clock hour. And Bob's got a lot of good stuff. I will be back. I will talk to you tomorrow at 3 for Border to Border, 4 o'clock for the Mashup Hour. Stick around through the break. 106.1 ESPN.
Tune into the ESPN Richmond Herman Allen Sports Play of the Day, presented exclusively by Herman Allen Plumbing and Cooling, your premier Lennox dealer.
Coach Saban here, and let me tell you, every second matters. Preparation is everything, and that's why I trust Kidda Smoke Alarms.
And as North America's #1 home fire safety brand, they're built to respond over 25% faster to smoke detection. Kidda helps protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. #1 claim based on total household installations as of December 2023. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidda 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition product.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats live from the stands, and we've got a special update. Sources confirm fans using the Vivid Seats app are racking up rewards with every ticket and doing it fast. With an unbeatable lineup of seats and perks that go the distance, why use any other app for game day? Don't fumble this season. Grab your tickets through Vivid Seats, download their app, earn rewards, and as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, get $20 off your first $200 in-app purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
At the Original Mattress Factory, you'll often hear us say we can't fit our quality in a box. Our customers feel the same way. Here's what an actual OMF customer had to say.
I recently purchased a bed-in-a-box mattress and returned it a month later. I replaced it with a bed from the Original Mattress Factory, and I am beyond thrilled. Don't bother with any of the online mattress brands. Go to OMF and you'll be in great hands. My only regret is not going there sooner.
Come see our quality firsthand at the Original Mattress Factory.
Don't miss the Greentop Outdoor Expo, sponsored by Daniel Defense, the Mid-Atlantic event for hunting, fishing, and outdoor enthusiasts. October 4th and 5th, over 225 vendors featuring GSM, Holiday Barn, Pet Resorts, and Ruger. Details at greentop.com.
Richmond football is just 2 Saturdays away.
Jim takes the snap, tries to sneak it in, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Spiders.
We are running it back. It is back-to-back CAA championships for the Richmond Spiders.
And now the Spiders are up for a new challenge. After back-to-back conference titles and 3 straight playoff appearances, it's off to the Patriot League. And it starts at Lehigh. Saturday, August 30th, 11:30 airtime, high noon game time on your season-long home of the Spiders. 106.1 ESPN.
On Clinton and Friends. The Ravens are in a situation where awkward offseason with the kicker situation. Let's not forget that last year, their season ended on a dropped pass. Extremely winnable game that they just biffed. The Ravens, I think, will make the Super Bowl this year. The road to the Super Bowl goes through Arrowhead, blah, 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 yakety schmackety. The Ravens can do it.
Clinton and Friends. Weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Car crashes don't happen in slow motion. They happen fast. In a crash, there's no time to check if your child's in the right car seat. Don't think you know. Know you know. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
From the Bull Rush ESPN studio. Learn more at bullrush.com/ESPN. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.
This is Sports Center.
The hold-in is over on Chris Smith. Ahead of their regular season opener against the Giants, the Commanders and wide receiver Terry McLaurin reached an agreement on a 3-year contract extension worth up to $96 million, including a $30 million signing bonus, his agents told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Schefter also reporting that Dolphins kicker Jason Sanders is expected to be sidelined 4 to 5 weeks with a hip injury, while number 2 running back Jalen Wright sidelined for week 1 against the Colts with a calf injury. And Raiders wide receiver Jacoby Myers, who is entering the final year of his contract, has requested a trade according to the NFL Network and confirmed by ESPN. Meanwhile, Elite Corso's final college game day will lead up to number 3 Ohio State hosting top-ranked Texas. And ESPN analyst Trevor Manish says there's some question marks for both squads at QB.
Julian saying that Ohio State has no starts at all under his belt. And Arch Manning of Texas has 2 starts under his belt. And that's it. And this game, there are a lot of new players on both sides that'll have to filter in, but it'll come down to which young quarterback can handle the pressure.
Manage on ESPN Radio's Game Day.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Live from the capital of the Commonwealth, this is the Sports Huddle with Bob Black on 106.1 ESPN. We're also streaming live at espnrichmond.com and on the iHeartRadio app. Call in and talk with Bob anytime at 327-0888. Now, here's Bob Black with the Sports Huddle on 106.1 ESPN.
It is game week in the Commonwealth. Yes, we are here. Week 1, opening week of college football for virtually all of our Commonwealth teams, and we are fired up for it. Hello there. Welcome to the Sports Huddle. Bob Black with you here on a Monday afternoon. Yeah, sun-splashed Monday afternoon. Going to be a great weather week. We got it all going for us right now. 804-327-0888. Get you on the program. It's also our text line, 327-0888. And yeah, I'm fired up for college football to get going this weekend. Matt and I spent a long stretch of time in the 4 o'clock hour. Hopefully you were with us then as we talked college football. Richmond, JMU, UVA, Virginia Tech, and we got a lot more to come as well. Without burying the headline, the top story, though, comes out of the NFL from the Washington Commanders. That sound you hear is all Commanders fans breathing a sigh of relief. Terry McLaurin is in the building. They reached agreement today on a new 3-year contract extension that will begin next year. Remember that. He's under contract this year under his old deal. And then the new contract kicks in next year, $96 million over 3 years with this $30 million signing bonus that, by the way, I interpret it. That's the guaranteed money that he will be getting out of the $96 million. How they break down the rest of it year by year, I don't know. I guess that might still be to come out, even if it's not. Terry McLaurin's got $96 million, and $30 million of it is probably in the bank today as soon as he signs the contract. I think that's the point of a signing bonus in all of these high-level contract negotiations. Timing is excellent for the Commanders. Look, there's going to be some water under the bridge, water over the dam, whatever the cliches are. There were probably some hurt feelings along the way, but I think bygones will be bygones, and Terry McLaurin will be fine in that locker room and even better on the field with Jaden Daniels and the rest of that Commander offense. Jordan, let me bring you in on that real quick because you've been covering the Commanders. You were up there for, disastrous game the other day, which really doesn't matter because it was all third stringers. But what do you think here? The impact of McLaurin back with just under 2 weeks to go before they kick it off for real.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a much needed thing for sure. As I indicated to Matt in the 3 o'clock hour, I mean, from Dan Quinn to Cliff Kingsbury all the way down, it was the frustration with the lack of Terry's presence in practice and training camp, as well as the frustration that they could not get a deal done until now was very visible, and it was mounting. Mm-hmm. So, I definitely agree with you that a lot of Commanders fans are breathing a huge sigh of relief right now because they know that it's over. They can look ahead to the next 4 years of Terry McLaurin and his impact on this franchise. And I know Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury have to be chomping at the bit right now to get Terry engulfed in the offense and shift all the players back into the positions that they need to be.
Yep. And you said a significant number there, 4 years. It's a 3-year extension, but it's also this year. So that's going to keep him theoretically in Washington for the next 4 years, which will bring him to 11 years in the NFL at that point. Right? He's 7 years in. That's phenomenal for an NFL player, assuming, knock on wood, he doesn't get hurt. We never want to see anybody from any team get hurt. So we want to see him continuing to play. And if it is with one franchise, that's pretty phenomenal as well. And it's going to take him to 34, 35 years old. Who knows? That might be the last contract that Terry McLaurin ever signs. He certainly will have enough money that he doesn't have to worry about that part of it. And unless he's going great guns and his body is staying healthy and, kind of giving, Father Time a run for his money, that may be the last contract that Terry McLaurin signs. I think it's a pretty good one. I think he got the number he was looking for, right at $32 million average per year, and $30 million of it basically guaranteed from everything I can figure out as a signing bonus. I think he's in pretty good shape, and I think the Commanders are even better shape. And offensively, hopefully they don't miss a beat from where they were last year, because even though I'm not a Commanders fan, they were fun to watch. When they weren't playing my team, they were fun to watch offensively, and I think they can get back to that now, and they get a little less than 2 weeks to get everybody on the same page If this had been a year ago when McLaurin and Jaden Daniels hadn't really connected together yet, and Daniels was still a rookie, that would be a different story. 2 weeks probably wouldn't be enough time, but I think this is plenty of time to have them ready and raring to go. Next step is actually tomorrow, which will be cut down day at, I believe, 4 o'clock, when the NFL teams need to get to 53. Some cuts are beginning to trickle out now for pretty much all teams, but we will know by the time we do the Mashup Hour tomorrow. They should release all cuts for the Commanders and every NFL team as well. So that's really the next kind of circle the moment in the NFL as we get set for the regular season, which I continue to say is taking forever to get here. I mean, it just feels like it's taking forever. That's probably why I'm so excited that college football is upon us. And as I said to Matt, hang on, Reggie, I'm coming. As I said to Matt in the Mashup Hour, today's one of those red letter days for us at Richmond as we get ready for the Spider season. And 2 ways that we know this is the Monday of game week. Get the first 2 deeps, because at least at the FCS level, they still give 2 deeps, and got them both for Richmond and Lehigh. And I got to tell you, this Lehigh team, it's stark contrast to the Richmond 2 deep with the number of returning players. You don't see this very often anywhere in college football, but most of those guys who tormented the Spiders in that playoff game last year at Robins Stadium, they're back. They're coming back. 9 of their 11 starters on defense from that game return for Lehigh. And then on offense, the quarterback, their top 2 running backs, and their top 2 receivers are also back. Whereas the Spiders went through, a pretty major overhaul. I think Russ Huseman said today 33 new players on the roster. So that's more than a third of the Spider roster. So contrasting roster styles between Richmond and Lehigh. Anyway, that's one way I know that it's game week. Got the first 2 official 2 deeps of the year to start my prep work. And then secondly, Richmond does have this tradition of hosting this breakfast on the Monday before the first game. Alumni, fans, friends, had a couple hundred people on campus. Coach Huseman gives a preview of the team and answers questions. And I'm going to tell you 2 things from that this morning, and I don't think this is top secret stuff at all. One of them was a little bit of a scoop. And as I get the opportunity, the honor to kind of MC it, traffic cop it a little bit, get to the point where Coach Huseman's up on the podium, and then I run around with the wireless mic and give it to the fans to ask their questions so everybody can hear the question. So I get my walk, my exercise in early in the morning. One fan stood up and had a great question, the way he phrased it. So Richmond opens 3 on the road. I think if you've been following us at all, you know that. Lehigh, Wofford, and then at North Carolina in the 3rd week of the season. And a fan stands up today and says, Coach, did you ever think you'd be in a position to run across a field and offer a condolence handshake to Bill Belichick? So you get the inference there. He is certainly inferring that the Spiders are going to knock off North Carolina. And what's it going to be like for Coach Huseman to shake Bill Belichick's hand and say, sorry, good game, better luck next time? And Russ just kind of laughed at that and said, never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be matched up against Bill Belichick. And that's what I've been saying all along. I really want to put a wireless microphone on Coach Huseman pregame, just to eavesdrop on what the 2 of them are saying when the 2 coaches just got to stand there and have small talk for a few minutes. I don't think Bill Belichick is much on small talk at all. Who knows if it'll even come out before the game. But that's what I would love to see. But I thought that was a well-phrased question from one of the Spider fans in the audience today. And then Russ was on the topic of the usual NIL, transfer portal, eligibility, all of that. And he mentioned, really did more than mentioned, he told a really good story about it, but emphatically said that Kyle Wickersham, the Spiders starting quarterback, come Saturday, and it's the 3rd time he's won that starting job, but he's also been an often injured quarterback, only played 3 games last year before injury ended his season, petitioned, wavered for an extra year of eligibility, and it's been granted. And I didn't know that. If that was out there, I was on a beach somewhere and never heard that before. So Kyle's going to get a 6th year of eligibility. And I shouldn't have that surprise in my voice at this point because it's happening everywhere in college athletics. But I was surprised to learn that Kyle Wickersham had proactively gone after the waiver, petitioned to get a 6th year of eligibility, and that it has been granted. So he will have another year to play beyond this one. Now, I hope it's at Richmond. Obviously, I hope he has a great year, and I hope he loves Richmond so much he's going to come back for one more here. But I don't think any of us are naive enough to think that's what's going to happen, that in the back of his mind, if he has a good year, he's going to take one shot somewhere else to try and play that 6th year. But I did think that was a little bit of a scoop, and I kidded the audience that, because they were there for this early morning breakfast, maybe Coach Usman would give him a little bit of a scoop. And I don't even know if he knew he was doing it or not, because obviously it's common knowledge to him and the coaching staff of the administration. But he did kind of tell the audience, a couple hundred Spider fans there today. And now I'm telling you that Kyle Wickersham's going to have yet another year to play college football. So good for him for year 6. First and foremost, hope it's a good year 5 before we even get to year 6. All right. All of that, let me get to the phones. Reggie was waiting through that kind of monologue there. Reggie, hope you had a good weekend. Thanks for calling. You're on the Sports Huddle.
Chinatown, Bob, I'm glad you mentioned the scoop. Thank you, sir. And tell those hundreds of people to get on the bus and go on the road and support the team. Because, come on, man, home attendance has been kind of lacking there a couple of years. There,
yeah, and I said that as we dismissed everybody after Russ was done answering questions, and I'm like, hey, we got 3 on the road. All of them you can get to. We'd love to see you on the road for any of these games, and then we definitely want you in Robin Stadium. I'll tell you what, that first one, Reggie, better be a pretty large crowd because it's VMI, and the Keydets should bring some people, right? So that should be a good-looking crowd at Robin Stadium. But you're right, they're trying every which way to put more fannies on the seats there at Robin Stadium, Reg.
Yeah, it's a beautiful stadium, but Bob, you got to tighten up, young man. I'm disappointed in you. Union will be on the NFL Network playing against Miles College in the HBCU Hall of Fame game this coming the 31st. They're going to be on national TV there, young man.
Well, let's talk about that. They're getting, those schools are getting several of those games. Wasn't there one this weekend already? North Carolina Central won this weekend. I watched a little of that somewhere. I don't even know what network it was on. And
the MEAC spanked them swag boys.
Who'd they beat in that game? I forget who they even played.
Yeah, it escapes me. It escapes me right now. I saw the game. But it escapes me right now. But, First Take is going to be down Norfolk State this coming Friday.
Yep.
And Mr. Michael Vick, a.k.a. Coach Vick, is going to have his hands full. Who is it? Norfolk playing, Bob?
I have to.
Towson?
It's Towson. Thursday night. Yes, it is. Yes, Towson.
They might hang half 100 on them. Towson is no joke.
No, they're not. They're good. I think they will be one of. We don't spend too much time on the CAA anymore, although we will because William & Mary's still in there for this year. But Towson's could be a solid team and could give Michael Vick a rude welcome to his college coaching career. Wouldn't that be something, Reggie? If Michael Vick does not win his college coaching debut with Norfolk State, if Towson wins that game, that'd be a tough pill to swallow.
Well, no, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow. So Norfolk State has neck. They played the mighty Trojans of Virginia State.
Oh,
that's right. We coming down there and kick some honey. I'm calling my shot now. Michael, welcome to the big time.
Oh, I love that sinister laugh. You going to be there for that one, Reggie?
Yes, sir. I got
Good
to bring
for
the
you.
wife.
Good for you.
They enjoyed the bands playing.
Absolutely.
And I want to see how many people show up at the stadium this time because Norfolk State is known for tailgating and not attending the football games. So they better tighten up and put some fannies in the seats. People going to be watching the first couple of games.
What a great start for them, game-wise, right? To play Towson on national television on a Thursday night and then to get Virginia State after that, which is, obviously, as we know, a top CIAA Division II team. And either game could go either way. That's an awesome start. By the way, NC Central beat Southern 31-14. They whooped them pretty good there, Reg, in the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
it's personal now because the SWAT been running their mouth a little bit.
Yeah.
To me, I got to stand up. We getting tired of them running their mouth. Coach Prime is no longer there.
No. You're on your A game today, Reggie. I love the laugh. All right, my man, I got to move on.
Okay, Titletown.
All right, catch up with you during the week. Thank you, Reggie. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Already 5:17 on the Monday edition of the Sports Huddle.
These are this afternoon's top sports stories.
I'm sure he'll be fascinated by all the stories you have to tell.
This is today's Drive Home Headlines.
We have so much going on. We're not going to get to all of it, to say the least. We have spent most of the time on the football front, whether it was Terry McLaurin or college football, and we're going to continue to do more of that. But at the bottom of the hour, we will get our motorsports update with Jordan. Even though he was off covering the Commanders game this weekend, I'm sure he was still keeping an eye, particularly on the last regular season NASCAR race down in Daytona. Huge come-from-behind win for Ryan Blaney. We'll get into all of that with Jordan at the bottom of the hour. And then we're going to do something a little different with the play of the week, just because I want to have a little fun with it more than anything, because there were plenty of things to choose from. Look, over the summer, there were some weeks as I choose a Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week. And I know this isn't the biggest deal in the world, right? We're not giving away prize money. We're not giving away a trophy. We're just playing a highlight, and we're talking about it a little bit. But I just want to have a little bit of fun with it. I couldn't decide which one I wanted today. So I've got two plays. We're going to play them both. And if we had enough time, I'd put it out there for a vote from everybody. But I'm going to banter it back and forth with Jordan. And by the time we leave the air, one of these two plays is going to be officially our Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week for this week. Are you ready for this, Jordan? Are you ready for the tremendous pressure that's going to be cast upon you to listen to these two plays and pick one as the Herman Allen Sports Play?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. And I actually had three, and I narrowed it down to two. And look, I was excited for college football to start this weekend. I had nothing else on my slate, on my calendar, just some, around the house projects and errands to run. No football, nowhere to go. I mean, no football that I was working. So it was really enjoyable to just watch the college football and listen to it. On Saturday, as I was out and about a little bit Saturday, I caught Iowa State's broadcast of the game in Dublin between Iowa State and Kansas State, which turned out to be a great game that Iowa State won by 3. Highly enjoyable to listen to a hometown radio call of that game from on location in Dublin, Ireland. And then the bookend of that was the last game, was the Hawaii game against Stanford. Unfortunately for the ACC and Stanford, they're not a very good team, but it turned out to be a pretty good game that it was entertaining to watch. So I really did enjoy that. One of the plays comes from college football. I think you can probably guess where the other one comes from. If you listen to this show on a regular basis, you know my passion, and we'll let you hear both of those plays. And then Jordan and I are going to pick one as the official Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week this week. I don't know if this takes off. We might do it this way every week, particularly now when we get into the fall and winter and we have all these sports to choose from. So we're going to have some fun with that. All right, 804-327-0888 on the Sports Huddle. It's also our text line. I see there are a couple of texts out there, so I'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side and grab those texts and hopefully talk to you as well. And a couple other topics that we haven't really gotten to that I want to make sure I touch on. We'll do that next on the Sports Huddle, 106.1 ESPN.
High school football under the lights, and Dave & Buster's right there with you. Proud sponsor of our high school football coverage on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Dave & Buster's in Short Pump is your post-game destination. Bring the whole team or the whole family. Just bring your appetite. 4001 Brownstone Boulevard in Glen Allen. Dave & Buster's. Eat, drink, play, watch with 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
Let me tell you about this new Pretzel Cheddar Club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Apply now and save with no application fee through September 3rd. Visit umgc.edu to get started. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
With rising gas prices in the RVA, save money every time you fill up with the Fuel Rewards program at Bon Air Shell. Sign up today at bonairshell.com or stop by 8762 Huguenot Road.
Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
A duo that's perfect together. That's Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, and Lennox. Herman Allen is your local Lennox dealer, and they're committed to making your family's home comfort their top priority. With a wide assortment of Lennox products to offer, Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating and Cooling will ensure your home's air is perfect for your family. Call today at 804-746-5853 or visit online at hermanallenplumbing.com to learn more about how you can experience expert service and care.
Richmond, your mornings just got a whole lot better. Tune in to Fits the Bill every weekday from 8 to 10 a.m. We're breaking down everything from the NFL to college hoops and even...
I get analytics. I understand why they're there. Analytics have ruined every sport that they have seeped into. I love the nerd sides, but analytics have ruined games.
Live and local. Jack Fitzpatrick is bringing it every morning from 8 to 10 a.m. on 106.1 ESPN.
Quarter after 5 Monday afternoon. Hope you had a great weekend and are looking forward to the college football weekend that's coming over Labor Day. Yes, it is Labor Day weekend in addition to the college football. And actually, I had a text here from John. Appreciate this, John. Couple things, but I had mentioned earlier, and I'm not usually like this. I do feel like the NFL season is taking forever to get here. Like, if you're not the Eagles and the Cowboys playing on Thursday, you're still basically 2 weeks away from yesterday, from starting the season. And between the 3 preseason exhibition games and them starting on like July 23rd or 4th with camp, it just feels like it's gone on forever. And I don't really know why I'm feeling that way this year, maybe other than the fact my team won the Super Bowl and I'm ready to see them try and repeat. But John texted and said, it does feel like the NFL season is taking forever to get to. How come they don't start on Labor Day weekend like they used to when I was growing up? That's John texting that, but that's true for me also. That did happen. I would imagine, we all believe an 18th game is coming in the NFL, right? It's at 17 now, but it just seems inevitable. The commissioner wants it. The owners probably want it for more money. We can reduce preseason games to 2 per team. It's too many, in my opinion. I think 18 is too many. I think it's too brutal of a sport, too much of a collision, let alone contact sport, to be putting these guys through 18 games. But if they do that, I am sure the players union will insist on a second bye week for every team, that they will get not 1 but 2 weeks during the season. So to be able to do that and get it done like before July 4th, I'm being facetious there, but only by a little bit. They're going to need to start earlier. And I think they would start on Labor Day weekend, which conflicts a little bit with the college game that pretty much has the whole stage to themselves for this first weekend of the season, which I think is a really good thing. I like it like that. But like I said, it does feel like it's taken a long time to get there. And I do think when they get to an 18-game schedule, you will see that the season start on Labor Day weekend. And then John had one other question, and this kind of comes off of, my opening the door for y'all on a radio version into the Spider football breakfast this morning with Coach Huseman. And he asked, has the NIL and transfer portal pretty much made FCS football like the minor league of FBS? Well, if you ask Richmond that question this year and Russ Huseman, the answer would definitely be yes. They had a dozen guys that left the team that had eligibility remaining that went on to play FBS football. In fact, one of them, and I didn't even think to zero in on him even more than I did, played for Hawaii yesterday. That's right. A Richmond Spider played for Hawaii. Carson Stocklinski, defensive lineman, went into the transfer portal after last year and wound up at Hawaii. And from all accounts and talking to some people who did watch it more closely than I did, because I just forgot, he played a significant number of snaps on the defensive line for Hawaii. I looked it up. He was only credited with 2 tackles, but he's one of those defensive tackles that's kind of the bulldozer guy and kind of moves guys out of the way and lets the linebackers and defensive ends get to the ball carrier. But apparently he started for Hawaii and played, like I said, significant number of snaps. So good for him. One of a dozen Spiders that left FCS and went to FBS. Now, Coach Huseman today said his hope and his thought is that won't happen every year. That I said, Richmond's got like 32 or 33 new players this year between the freshmen that were high school players, the transfers from Division FBS programs, and the grad transfers that are already in the program. But that's not going to happen every year. And he really was firmly committed to, we are still going to try and be a 4 and 5 year program. We're obviously selling a great education, high level of football, and we don't want it to be this way. We don't want to be a feeder system to FBS, but you will be prepared for there to be some of that. I just think his hope is it's not going to be a dozen guys every year. Now, the flip side of that, first of all, they've bought in on that. They understand it. They don't like it, but they know how to handle it and manage it now. And they will continue to go out and find really good players who somehow got missed by the FBS programs. They will coach them up at Richmond. They will have good to great years with the Spiders. And then that will happen to a few. I think, you're putting your head in the sand if you don't think that's going to happen at all. And maybe there was some of that with the really good FCS programs when all of this started a few years ago. But I think they've all come to the realization that if we continue to recruit really good players, some of them are going to go on and try their hand at the FBS level. Now, I think over time, you're going to find that some of them don't succeed at the FBS level. And yeah, maybe they're getting a paycheck. I don't know how big it's going to be, but maybe at the end of the day, the big picture of the whole thing would have been to stay where you're really, really good, appreciate it, and do your best there and not make that jump. That, I think, is the hope, that some are still going to go, but you don't want it to be a dozen every year. But you're still going to recruit good players, and when this group of good players moves on, you're going to bring more good players into a program that really has its house in order right now. And I would say the same for William and Mary. Maybe they're down, a little bit right now, but I think in general, their house is in order as well, and they can kind of do the same thing with this. So I hope that answers the question, John. It's very definitely part of it right now, but hopefully it will not become the biggest, most major part of the recruitment process and the structuring of rosters at the FCS level. All right, bottom of the hour, break time here. Jordan's coming up next. Our motorsports update brought to you by the Insurance Doctor. Quite the race at Daytona to wind down the regular season for NASCAR. We'll let you hear it, and Jordan will give us his analysis of it when we come back on the Sports Huddle.
Hi, I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic, semaglutide injection 0.5 milligrams.
If you've started thinking about what to wear this fall, your timing is perfect because Macy's Fall Preview event has early deals on looks everyone will be wearing. Romantic dresses from BCBG and Avec Les Filles, Western-inspired boots and bags from Steve Madden, all 25% off. Plus, take 15 to 25% off fall beauty from Yves Saint Laurent, Estee Lauder, and Clinique. Don't wait. This fall preview won't be around for long. So come into Macy's today. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Soccer in RVA is winding down with just a few games left this season. Make your plans now to catch the next Richmond Kickers home game Wednesday, September 17th versus Portland Hearts of Pipe. Tune in to hear ESPN Richmond live as we count down to this nationally televised game on RVA Community Night at City Stadium. Then it's on to a Saturday night showdown September 20th versus Charlotte Independence. Reserve your tickets today at richmondkickers.com. And don't forget, at Kickers games, dogs are always welcome.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. Looking for a more natural way to sleep? Our orthopedic natural mattresses combine our legendary quality with nature's finest materials. We hand build each mattress using renewable materials like cotton, wool, and natural latex, creating a luxury sleep experience that's as good for the planet as it is for you. Visit one of our showrooms to try them out in person or visit originalmattress.com to learn more. The Original Mattress Factory. Sleep better, naturally.
Hey, it's Delvin Joyce, JMU Hall of Famer and former New York Giant. Listen, make sure you tune in to Talkin' Dukes every Wednesday on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Go Dukes.
Can you believe the finish that we are about to see? Cole Custer, Blaney. This would be epic. The Haas Factory team. Ryan Blaney ahead of Custer. Coming to the line. Ryan Blaney's going to do it. Wow. They spin across the line, but it's Blaney who gets it done and continues his amazing run of late. And that keeps Alex Bowman in the playoffs. Good job, man. Oh, yeah. 13th to the win in 2 laps. Yep. What a drive by Blaney.
What a wild last couple laps, honestly. And cool night, man. Everybody, thanks for coming, man. This is so cool. So, yeah, it's definitely a little bit not as traditional way we like to run them. We like to lead laps and things like that. And just couldn't really get there to the end, but got there when it mattered. So it's cool to win here again. Won here a few years ago, and nice to be back.
106.1 ESPN Richmond's auto racing coverage brought to you by the Insurance Doctor. Visit myinsuranceDoctor.com to get a quote from one of their 8 locations in the Richmond Chesterfield area for peace of mind on and off the track. What a comeback, Jordan, by Ryan Blaney. You heard it in the play-by-play clip there. 13th to the win in the last 2 laps. That was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, and that's typical of Daytona. It seems, just looking at the results, I mean, you had Justin Haley and Cole Custer trying their best, Ryan Preece as well, trying their best to play spoiler. And we knew coming into this weekend that if a new winner won at Daytona, that Alex Bowman would be kept out of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. And unfortunately, Alex Bowman ended up facing some trouble early on. He came home 36th. So he spent the vast majority of Saturday night watching the race from his motorhome or from wherever at Daytona, biting his fingernails, hoping that someone who had already won this year would go to victory lane at Daytona. And just in the nick of time for Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney beat out Daniel Suarez and Justin Haley and Cole Custer to the line. Eric Jones even led 10 laps in the race. He was out front for most of the night. Kyle Larson made a late charge as well. And Ryan Preece got hung out to dry in the closing laps. There's video and audio circulating of him kind of cursing the fact that if he had had some Fords around him to help him maintain the draft in the closing laps, that he would have ended up winning the race. So unfortunate for Ryan Preece, who missed out on the playoffs. He was behind the cut line coming in, so he needed to win in order to get a playoff spot. That didn't happen. So Ryan Blaney played spoiler for the first win hopefuls. Justin Haley had won a rain shortened summer Daytona race several years ago when the series was racing on the Daytona road course during the summer race. So for Justin Haley and his team, I think he races for Spire Motorsports, if I recall correctly. So Justin Haley flew the banner proud for that team. His teammate Carson Hocevar suffered an engine failure, and his other teammate Michael McDowell, he actually led 3 laps, but he ended up coming home in 12th place. So from there, the playoff field is set. Your 16 drivers real quickly: Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Josh Berry, Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon, and Alex Bowman. So that is your playoff field for the Cup Series Championship. The first race of the playoffs will be this weekend at Darlington Raceway for the Southern 500. That race will be Sunday night, 6:00 on USA. Another noteworthy piece of information coming out of Daytona this weekend. Obviously, I think I reported on it before. Daniel Suarez is leaving Trackhouse, and so the team announced that Connor Zilic, the up and coming Xfinity superstar, will be taking over in the 99. It seems. Starting next year in the Cup Series. So Shane Van Gisbergen will be teammates with Connor Zilic and Ross Chastain starting in 2026. So that'll be cool to watch.
So who you got? Give me an early pick here in this round of 16. Who you got?
I'll give you my four drivers out. The 4 drivers who won't advance. Right. I'll say Josh Berry doesn't make it. I'll say Bubba Wallace doesn't make it. I'll say who else? Probably Bowman. He might have a strong performance in one of the first 3 races, and then I would say Austin Dillon probably doesn't make the cut into the round of 12.
All right, we won't hold you to it, but just that's good. That's well done to do it off the top of the head right there and pick the field. So good stuff there. Looking forward to it. They start the playoff this week, right?
Yep.
At Darlington. Right?
So it goes Darlington, and then I scroll down and scroll down and scroll down. So it goes Darlington, St. Louis, Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis / Illinois will be the next race. And then the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol will round out the round
All right.
of 16.
Cool.
So, so a lot to look forward to there. IndyCar had a first-time winner in Milwaukee for the first time in 2 years, as Christian Rasmussen passed champion Alex Palou with 16 laps to go. They played the tire game just right at the Milwaukee Mile, and Christian Rasmussen ends up in victory lane. The season finale for the IndyCar series will be this Sunday at Nashville Superspeedway. You can watch that at 2:00 on Fox. And then Formula One is back from their summer break. They will be hitting Zandvoort in the Netherlands for the Dutch Grand Prix. That'll be Sunday morning at 9:00 on ESPN. And it seemed like there was great weather for the IMSA sports cars out at Virginia International Raceway down near Danville, and it looked like a Corvette GT3 car went to victory lane. So cool to see some American muscle end up in victory lane in the rolling hills of Southern Virginia.
Oh, I like that. The rolling hills of Southern Virginia. I like it. All right. Good stuff, Jordan. Thanks. Our 106.1 ESPN Richmond auto racing coverage brought to you by the Insurance Doctor. MyInsuranceDoctor.com is where to head to get a quote from one of their 8 locations in the Richmond Chesterfield area. All right, we come back. We'll have a little fun with our Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week. I was betwixt and between, sitting on the fence, all of those cliches. So I'm going to play a couple for you, and then Jordan and I will kind of hash it out, and we'll pick one as our official Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week to wrap up the Monday Sports Huddle 106.1 ESPN.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront and ESPN welcome. Simple Plan with Bowling Pursuit, 303 at Lolo, Tuesday, August 26th. Tickets are on sale now. Gavin Adcock with Braxton Keith and Laney Gardner, Thursday, August 28th. Tickets are on sale now. Allison Krause and Union Station featuring Jerry Douglas, Friday, August 29th. Tickets on sale now. Tickets are available at livenation.com. Part of the Virginia Credit Union Concert Series. Click on ESPNRichmond.com for more Live Nation concert information.
While the others sleep in, Richmonders are waking up with Fitz the Bill. Jack Fitzpatrick and Fitz the Bill. Live every weekday from 8 to 10 on ESPN Richmond. Right here from the capital of the Commonwealth.
I didn't mean to do that.
All right, welcome back. Final segment of the Sports Huddle for a Monday. It's always one of my favorite ones as I sift through all of the top plays of the weekend, and we get an opportunity to pick our Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week, presented exclusively by Herman Allen Plumbing and Cooling, your premier Lennox dealer. And as we did this weekend, there was a plethora, one of my favorite words, plethora of plays from which to choose, and it got to the point where I'm like, I'm going to send to Jordan 2 or 3. And we'll pick one. And I narrowed it down to 2. So I had 2 college football and 1 baseball. And I figured with the opening weekend of college football, it has to be college football, right? And like I said, we got bookend really good games. The noon game was over in Ireland, was the Iowa State-Kansas State game, 3-point game. Iowa State made 2 huge plays at the end. I actually had those ready to go. There was a 3rd and 1 they converted and a 4th and 3 they converted to keep the ball out of the hands of the K-State offense and run out the clock and win the game. But I kind of put that one on the cutting room floor. I said, all right, let's go to these others from the college football world. Let's start with this one, because if you watch the Hawaii-Stanford game, it really was amazing. Stanford is not very good. I think there's plenty of excitement and energy around Hawaii this year, and yet on their home, on the island, they found themselves down 3 in the 4th quarter. and they kicked 2 field goals to win the game. And by they, I mean the young man who has become literally an international sensation because of these kicks. Kansai Matsuzawa from Japan to Hawaii. Just listen to some of these headlines if you Google it. From YouTube in Japan to Hawaii hero. Matsuzawa's perfect day leads Hawaii football to season-opening victory. Hawaii kicker wins the internet with unbelievable backstory. I thought it was good when you won the press conference, but when you win the internet, you've gone international. He learned to kick on YouTube and helps Hawaii beat Stanford. Hawaii kicker's incredible story is what college football is all about. How could this not be our Herman Allen play of the week? Here are the heroics from the YouTube in Japan to Hawaii hero, Matsuzawa's 2 kicks, one that tied it for Hawaii, and then the game winner at the buzzer.
Tied a kick in Japan watching YouTube. Went to junior college, spoke no English. This is his second year, 37 yards. High snap. Kick is on the way, and Matsuzawa nails it. Snap. Kick is up and good, and Hawaii has done it.
Unbelievable, gritty performance by Mike Alejado, setting up his kicker. Stanford thought they had it in the bag. There was adversity. Matsuzawa learned off YouTube, and it looks like he's been doing it for years straight.
Oh, man. How about that? All right. So that's one. I don't know how you could really top that with that kind of a story and the first game of the year and all of that. But let's turn our attention to baseball for just a moment because we had a record shattered this weekend. The big dumper was at it again for the Seattle Mariners. He hit 2 home runs, his 48th and 49th of the year, which sets a single-season record for catchers. Passes Salvador Perez's total with the Kansas City Royals, and the guy behind that was Johnny Bench. So we're in rarefied air here. And I love these calls, and I love that it's a record in Major League Baseball, and it's a catcher. And the other part of this, if I remember correctly, Cal Raleigh was actually born in Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. I believe we had talked about that at some point. I think Rockbridge in the Shenandoah Valley area is where he was born. So I kind of have a little bit of a local connection to it. Anyway, here's Cal Raleigh with home runs 48 and 49 to set a major league record for catchers. Our second choice for Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week.
0-1 to Cal. Fly ball. Reaches the second. He has tied the all-time record, the most home runs by a catcher in a single season, and Cal Raleigh has done it before the end of August. Simply incredible. Cal, blast up, left field, there it goes, Cal Raleigh. His 49th home run. Storybook season by Cal Raleigh. He has done it. The most home runs all time in a single season by a major league catcher.
All right. I love those calls, by the way. Local calls there. Seattle Mariners broadcast from when he did it. So that's the second one. So, Jordan, I'm going to ask your opinion of those two. But before I do that, I really got to figure this out because I really thought that there was a tweet somewhere about Cal Raleigh being born in Virginia. But according to Google and to AI, he was born in Cullowhee, North Carolina, which still makes him regional to our region. But I question that a little bit. And I'm going to do a little bit more research because unless I was thinking of somebody else who did something special and we found out he was a Virginia native, I really think it was him. So I'm going to do a little more research on that. But that aside, Jordan, you got the 2 field goals from the Japanese kicker who had never really kicked before learning how on YouTube last year to lead Hawaii to a win in the first college game of the year for Hawaii and Stanford, or you've got Cal Raleigh knocking 2 more out of the ballpark to set an all-time Major League Baseball record.
That is such a tough choice.
Yes,
it really is.
That's why I didn't.
Yeah, that's why you put it on me.
Yeah.
But
you and me, we'll go back and forth on this a little bit.
So my one preface question here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but was Hawaii's win like it was significant because it was a win over a Power 5 school? Now I know Stanford is bottom of the barrel in the ACC in terms of football, but I don't know how many Power 5 wins a team like Hawaii has. I know they went to the Sugar Bowl all those years ago,
a long time ago,
and played Georgia, I think it was. So they're used to playing top tier talent. So I do like the story of their kicker going from being self-taught to not knowing any English to being in Hawaii and everything. But I do really love the fact that Cal Raleigh has had the season he's had. The Mariners have been up and down. I don't know the AL West standings off the top of my head, but it seems like he's kind of been like the one redemptive thing for Seattle in terms of just it being the year that they've had.
Yep.
So
they're 2 games back.
They're 2 games back. So they're in
they needed it. They needed the win. They needed his homers. You're absolutely right about that.
So, okay. So, gosh.
Well, I'm going to put me over the top here because thank goodness for my guy, Sonny Dirth down in Newport News, who listens regularly and chimes in and calls in. And I knew I was onto this and I was just afraid to say it. But since he tweeted it to me, Kurt Dudley from James Madison, he was the one at the home run derby at the All-Star break who said Cal was born in Harrisonburg because his dad was a JMU assistant at the time. Kurt would know. I agree with you, Sonny. Kurt would know. So I do remember that. And we're going to differ with Google and AI and all of that. I'm going to believe my guy, Kurt Dudley. So the fact that Cal Raleigh is a Virginia native, I'm giving it to him.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Yeah, by default.
You were leaning in that direction.
Yeah, I was sort of leaning in that direction as well. The Hawaii story is great, but there's something about baseball and
there you go. You're my guy, Jordan. You're my go-out guy. All right, there's our Herman Allen official sports play of the week. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper with the 2 homers that makes him Major League Baseball's all-time home run leader for a catcher. Our Herman Allen sports play of the week presented exclusively by Herman Allen Plumbing and Cooling, your premier Lennox dealer. Maybe we'll do that again because we're going to have plenty of plays to choose from moving forward here between football and baseball and everything else that's going on. So that was fun. Appreciate you participating on that, Jordan, for the Motorsports Report and for producing this afternoon as well. We'll do it all over again tomorrow. All of us will. Fits the bill with Jack Fitzpatrick. Start your day at 8 a.m. Our ESPN programming middle of the day, and then Matt with Border to Border at 3, our Mashup hour at 4, and I got you for the Sports Huddle at 5 o'clock. Enjoy your evening. Back at it again tomorrow on Game Week Day 2. Keep it locked right here on 106.1 ESPN.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.